He's been on a 9-game heater since he got pulled in Pittsburgh in Game 4. Ferranti Bronte goal for the Carolina Hurricanes. He's got to get back on the track. He's got to get there fast. It's his next. There's no one else. They need another stable, capable performance from Rantham, which he's provided for almost all of these playoffs.
Let's send it now to public address announcer Wade Minter.
On Memorial Day and every day, we thank the men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Please join us in a moment of remembrance for all those who have given their lives in service of our country.
I am just getting everything else here together right now, and then we will get started momentarily. I'm right up the gun here. So I'm going to get all the starting lineups and everything else before puck drop. So let me get everything else here before puck drop. We're just trying to get right under the gun here. So for the New York Rangers, it looks and sounds like this. It's Mika Zibanejad with Chris Kreider, Frank Vatrano, Ryan Lindgren, and Adam Fox. Ryan Strome, Artemi Panarin, Andrew Kopp, Keandre Miller, and Jacob Trouba on the second line defense. Philip Seidel, Alexei Lafreniere, and Capo Caco with Barclay Goodrow, Tyler Mott, and Ryan Reeves. And then Justin Braun and Braden Schneider will be the third line defense with Igor Shesterkin between the pipes. And for the Carolina Hurricanes, it sounds like this: Sebastian Aho, Teuvo Teravainen with Seth Jarvis, Jacob Slavin, and Tony DeAngelo. Vincent Trocheck, Andrei Svechnikov with Marty Natchez, Brady Shea and Brett Pesce, Jordan Staal, Nino Niederreiter, Jesper Fast with Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Jordan Martinook, and Max Domi with Antti Ranta once again between the pipes. So for everything else that's going on right now for this series between the Rangers and the Hurricanes, it all comes down to this. And like we've said a couple times, I've covered a few Carolina Hurricanes games throughout Colorcast, YouTube, and things like that. They're one of those teams that are a perfect 7-0 at home, but they are 0-5 on the road. Now, how long will that continue to last? Now, in Game 6, it was one of those situations where Antti Ranta got pulled early. What's going on, man? How you doing? He got pulled early because he was fatigued. I mean, Antti Ranta's a backup goaltender that's not supposed to be playing this many minutes. Who knows what's going to happen with Freddie Anderson? And between the pipes, they're saying that he's supposed to be available going into the third series. Whether or not that's going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning, if they can get there, they got to beat the New York Rangers here tonight at home at PNC, if that is going to happen. But they're going to need to use Freddie Anderson. Peter Kochetkov even got some time in the back end of the net in Game 6. But this is Antti Ranta's time right now to shine, and Carolina is going to have to be able to get it done on his shoulders no matter what happens. And for the New York Rangers, it's pretty simple in the sense of everybody else has been dominating. Igor Shesterkin has been exceptional. Look, he doesn't have the .987 playoff percentage that Andrei Vasilevsky had for the Tampa Bay Lightning, but since he's been pulled about 7 games ago, he's been on an absolute heater, and he's been dominant. So you would think the Rangers could find a way at some point to win a road game. Carolina Hurricanes couldn't maintain a 7-0 homestand and try to go 8-0 to face the Tampa Bay Lightning. But something's going to give here in Game 7, and we're going to find out what it is. So I'm glad you can join me on this call here, and let's enjoy this Game 7. And I will be back tomorrow to call the Oilers and Avalanche Game 1. I know Patrick's going to be doing some of that stuff too, but I'm going to mix in on that. I'll give you the full play-by-play and discussion and all that stuff, and I'll leave the links in the chat. So Slavin has got it now for the Carolina Hurricanes as he gets dumped out. It goes behind the net of Igor Shesterkin. He rattles this around the kick plate, and it falls back to the blue line where they can reset up Carolina. Slavin spins this one around and bounces out in front of New York with Ryan Reeves. The fourth line's out there right now for Gerard Gallant to open it. Pass right out in front. Slavin's going to hold with Tony DeAngelo. DeAngelo spins this one around the kick plate as this goes for Domi. DeAngelo can't hold the blue line, so he's going to peel back to the Hurricanes logo, trying to find his way in. Jesperi Kotkaniemi gets his shot blocked toward the left faceoff dot. He's being surrounded by 3 white shirts. Again, the Rangers are in the home road whites, and Carolina is in the home blacks. Puck pinballs back to Shesterkin after he made the first save, and he will hold on with 19:04 left to go in the first. So the New York Rangers will be attacking right to left. the Carolina Hurricanes will be attacking left to right. So one of these situations that I've talked about with Carolina many, many times, as I've done a lot of their games, in the sense of this is one of the best well-rounded teams that you have in the NHL. Maybe things would be different if it wasn't just Raanta and that as Shea's bid goes wide. But it's one of those situations where they have to clean up the road record. You can't just win everything at home. Now they have the luxury of being the winner of the Metropolitan Division, so you can get home ice advantage at this point, and they're going to if they face the Tampa Bay Lightning. If they get out of this one in Game 7, they're going to have home ice advantage because they have a better record than Tampa, but something has to give. Shot gets blocked off by the white shirts before it even hits anything else for Shesterkin, and picked back up by Andrew Kopp. Ryan Strome will get this one around the kick plate as this finds the goal stick of Antti Raanta. Turnover there. Loose out in the high slot. Schneider tries to let one go. It's still loose in front of Raanta. He makes a pad save. And I believe we are going to have the first penalty of the game, and that's going to be a hook. So I'm going to pull up my ESPN box score as soon as I can get a chance here and put that in there. So Carolina is immediately going to the box. 18-18, Sebastian Aho is going to be called for hooking, and that's going to put the New York Rangers on the first power play of the contest. So the puck was just right in front of the blue paint here. It was Andrew Kopp with a piece of it momentarily. Picked up now by Artemi Panarin as the first line power plays out there. Adam Fox hit a pinball right back to him. Going to go back there for Mika Zibanejad, now to Fox. Now Artemi Panarin on the right wing side. Panarin's going to hold. Give it back there to the Norris candidate Fox. Shot goes wide of Chris Kreider and around to Artemi Panarin. Fox holding into the high slot. It bounces off the inboards and goes back to Carolina, but they're having a tough time trying to get this out as Slavin tried to clear it on the other side, but he could not. And now you might have a break here for Carolina, but Vincent Trocheck might run out of gas, and that was some good defense there by Kreider to come all the way back and be able to stop any break attempt there for Vincent Trocheck. So now New York Rangers power play is down to a minute 10. Picked back up in the zone, kept across the blue line as it stayed onside, and another shot goes just to the right of the boards and up and out of play. So the New York Rangers power play is at a minute 9 left to go in the first period. We're at 17:26 mark now scored. Rod Brind'Amour is 2-0 as a coach in Game 7s for the Hurricanes head coach, and Rod Brind'Amour has a ton of points here for the Carolina Hurricanes in their history. He was a fantastic player, and he's a really damn good coach on the other end of it. So you get that twofold there for the Carolina Hurricanes. And Gerard Gallant, you remember, he was the head coach of the Vegas Golden Knights when they made their playoffs and got to the Stanley Cup Finals before they lost to the Capitals a few years ago. And then now he's the coach of the Rangers because they just absurdly let him go. So now it goes down the ice. It bounces off the goal stick of Shesterkin, but he's going to calmly hold and wait for the Rangers to reset here. So the penalty kill in the playoffs has been superb for Carolina at home at 90%, just 68% on the road. Carolina trying to get this out of their own end right now as this bounces off Alexei Lafreniere, and this goes back in toward the blue line. Jesper Foss is the lone forechecker here for Carolina, and now he backs off as it's a 4-on-3 entry here for New York, but they're just going to dump this one in instead. Seidel gets it back there for Kopp, and Seidel's going to play this one toward the backboards of Frank Vatrano. Frank Vatrano, the Florida Panthers pick up at the deadline. This goes in again, and it bounces high off the inboards. The left side faceoff dot, the shot was wide open, but New York hasn't been accurate with their shot attempts. They really haven't had to test Raanta too many times so far. He hasn't really had to see a lot of action because everything is missed. Chance for Kopp. Alexei Lafreniere try to leave it there for Adam Fox. Once it goes, scores! The Rangers score on the power play. Adam Fox in the high slot. What do you know? The one that actually hits the net is the one that goes in. And the Rangers road fans leap up in excitement and wave the towels as the Norris candidate Adam Fox gets the Rangers on the board first on the road in PNC in Carolina. Adam Fox was one of those guys. I know he's probably not going to win the Norris candidate because Roman Yossi's got those high point totals, but Frank Vatrano, nice entry there. They keep it on side. It bounces off the stick. Nice skate through there for Lafreniere. Sends it back to Vatrano in the high slot toward the right faceoff dot. He hammers the wrist shot home, and New York is up 1-0. Again, whoever wins this Game 7 is going to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the last of the semis right now. And again, in this Game 7, there's not going to be much rest because today is Monday, the Western game is Tuesday, and then Game 1 is Wednesday. So it's not like the NBA Finals where there's a ton of rest. So Sturkin was bumped down. I don't even think that goal would have counted anyway, as Carpenter, or Niederreiter, I should say, was kind of doing that thing with his lips and buzzing that around because he knows he just missed a shot opportunity. But if they run on the goalie there, it's probably going to get called off. But that was a great entry and setup there for Adam Fox. He shot the puck in between two screens and two skate blades there of Marty Necas. That is just an excellent, excellent look. Yeah, you don't want to be on the receiving end of power plays at the beginning of the game because you're right. You got fresh legs on that side. Carolina's stick break on the other side is going to force one of the defenders to come back. But yeah, no, you don't want to make mistakes early in the contest on the fresh sheet of ice and the fresh sheet of legs. And now this play is blown dead. We're going to see what we got here. We got a high stick call. And I think this might go against the New York Rangers, according to Gerard Gallant's look there. I will get you the official call here in a moment as I got the box score and everything else settled up now. So it's Jacob Trouba for high sticking Jesperi Kotkaniemi. He's going to go to the box for 2 at the 4:18 mark of the first period. So now we can immediately see if Carolina can get back and get this game to even. Again, they got a little bit of a screwdriver problem there for one of the helmets and one of the Carolina players. I did not see the number on that side. But hook or by crook, you got to get it done. Loose out in front of the blue paint, but the Rangers fall on this thing, and it goes back to the blue line for Carolina. Tony DeAngelo plays this one to Jacob Slavin. Now back to DeAngelo. DeAngelo going to hold in toward the high slot of the blue line. He's still going to hold on to this thing, going to fake a slap shot. It goes high and wide off the kick plate. Might have went off the stick of Shesterkin and try to get spin around. So Aho will play this back to Vinny Trocheck. Now Tony DeAngelo. Back to Trocheck now toward the right face of that. He's going to slap it back to Slavin. And now DeAngelo is going to power play quarterback this thing. Shot for Slavin. And it bounces back toward the left face-off dot where Slavin has it now. Back to DeAngelo. DeAngelo is going to hold. Still going to work with this thing as Seth Jarvis comes out to play this one. Jarvis has it at the high slot now as DeAngelo switches positions. DeAngelo lets it go through a screen, and it bounces back to Trocheck, and it goes up and out of play, and this might be a 5-on-3 now for Carolina. So even though the Rangers have scored first off of a chance of a couple times, if they're going to say that went up and over the glass, that could be a penalty there. I want to get a look at this again. Maybe this bounced off the stick. But good setup here for Carolina, and man, that just whizzed across the right post. So nothing on the power play end to add to it. Carolina still got 1:04 left. The fans wanted something for cleaning the glass. So it's Mika Zibanejad taking the defensive draw here for the New York Rangers. He can't win it clean, and this goes back to Carolina. Slavin going to leave and hold. Nature's going to let it go. And Shesterkin made the save, and it bounces back to the Rangers. It's a 2-on-2 shorthanded opportunity. This is a chance there for Seidel. Seidel trying to hold off the wall toward the left face-off dot, and it falls back to Jacob Slavin, where Carolina can reset this thing. Slavin going to play it across toward the forwards now, as Aho going to set this up for Svechnikov off the kick plate toward the left face-off dot. Svechnikov being doubled, almost fell back to Slavin. Svechnikov, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and now Nito Niederreiter. This goes back to Slavin and toward the high slot now. As he's going to play catch with Niederreiter. Back to Slavin. Slavin lets it go looking for a tip. Jesperi Kotkaniemi couldn't deflect it. Now the stick got knocked out of his hands as this goes back into the red line of the Hurricane logo. Slavin got the entry, but it's 4-on-1. Natchez looking to join. Oh, he looked for a pass for Svechnikov, but he flubbed on the chance and then fell into the boards. That could have been a real good opportunity there to test Igor Shesterkin, but they just missed it. Now this is stuck in between Braun and Strome, and this goes back to New York as they get this one down the ice. No icing as it's waved off as it was played with a high stick, and it finds Brady Shea now. Shea is in behind the cage of Antti Ranta as you get a look on ESPN of the line changes happening right now. Natchez has 5 assists and 5 points. Chance here, Stahl trying to play this one out in front. And it goes back in toward the left face-off dot. Spun around there, Marty Natchez. Natchez back to Stahl. Adam Fox all over him as he's working between the kick play. One timer, it gets blocked. I think that was Slavin with the opportunity, and the white shirts were able to get to that before it even hits Sesterkin. This is stuck by the red line. Slavin takes his spill, and somehow Artemi Panarin is able to find his way through it. The referee also takes his spill with no one else near him on that side. Shea tried to find Jarvis there, and the pass was too far ahead, so it's going to be an offensive zone draw here for the New York Rangers. It's 5-2 on the shot board in favor of Carolina, but the Rangers have struck first. With 12:44 left to go in the first period, it was Adam Fox on the power play at the 3:40 mark from Alexei Lafreniere and Andrew Copp. The pickup there from the Winnipeg Jets and the former U of M Wolverine. So the New York Rangers have won 6 straight Game 7s when scoring first, but again, that was just not even 4 minutes into the contest, so you can read into that stat what you will. Offensive zone draw loss here for New York as Carolina can rattle this around the kick plate. This goes all the way back down for an icing. So we're going to do this one more time as Keandre Miller and Jacob Trouba get that hybrid icing touch. And I've said it a lot here. We get the stats. Hurricanes have won 6 straight Game 7s. Tell me how that's possible. And the Rangers are 7-1 in their last 8 Game 7s. I've said it a lot here for Carolina. For a team as good as I think they are, well-rounded, you got to be much, much better on the road. They cannot continue to be 0-6 on the road, but then try to be 8-0 at home. But that's what they're trying to do right now. But they're down 1-0. Pass out in front of the slot gets intercepted there by the Rangers, and it's a 3-on-2 opportunity. Chance here off the backhand for Strome, and it goes wide. And are we going to have another penalty call? Is the question. Too many men on the ice. So Carolina, I believe, is going to be guilty of this one, but I will get the official call here for you in a moment. Jesper Foss, Stahl, Svechnikov, everyone else getting a look. A lot of these guys are having some helmet and skate issues right now. This is just a little bit insane as far as some of the other issues here for Carolina. And you feel at this point, I really hadn't said this too much in the first round, even in the Game 7 against the Boston Bruins, but maybe Carolina's playing just a little bit tight. You can tell that just a little bit from what you're seeing, especially the too many men penalty. So when we come back, we're going to sort this one out, and it is 1-0, the New York Rangers, with 12:14 left to go in the first period. Come right back and join me for the call. More in a moment.
This is Antonio's Cheat Shop, and we're the SNL. Do good, eat good.
That's our mission.
We chose our Smart Cash Plus card from
Hey, Darren, I appreciate you sticking in here, buddy. It's going to be a busy couple of days here for me because, again, I'll be back on Tuesday and Wednesday for Game 1s and maybe Thursday for the NBA Finals, and then I'm done for the week. I can't do anything Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Going to be a little bit busy there. So Carolina Hurricanes will be taking a penalty here for too many men.
So, people can get a free Samsung Galaxy S22 when they trade in the Galaxy. Any year, any condition.
Oh, I get it. So you can take your old phone that you've had for 12 years and loved every minute of and trade it in for something new that suits your life now?
That's right. Yeah.
Then it's immediate success. Even though you'll never forget your old phone,
Great trade.
life changing.
Get a free Samsung Galaxy S22 with any Galaxy trade. Any year, any condition. Only at AT&T.
What happens if you ever need to miss work for a long time?
Oh, man, this work.
Sprain ankle?
Get it, vegetable.
Get kicked by a horse.
Scurvy.
Plan today. Feel comfortable about tomorrow. Mass Mutual.
When Brendan Smith realized that his Rangers career was coming to an end, he had 2 choices. He could either sulk or figure out a way to make an impact. That impact was that of mentor.
I like Emily Kaplan. She's one of the few that you got on ESPN that actually knows any kind of hockey coverage. And her and Hillary Knight are probably the 2 best ones they got on ESPN. I know Hillary does a lot of the sideline duty. She was a member of Team USA, but Emily Kaplan's always been all over it there for ESPN on that side. And there really isn't too many positive things I can say about the broadcast crew on ESPN across sports. As we get back into the action right now, this is the Rangers once again on the power play. Carolina Hurricanes got caught for too many men on the ice as this falls back to Artemi Panarin and Fox. Fake slap shot, scores! Screened out in front. This could be Mika Zibanejad, but 2-0 Rangers, and you just can't take unnecessary penalties. And right now, that is killing the Carolina Hurricanes. 2-0, Mika Zibanejad. And my goodness, everybody else in Carolina, they got concern on their faces, and you see everybody else on their phone nowadays. It was 6 men on the ice. You can only have 5, and all of a sudden, 30 seconds later, Zibanejad had a chance. This goes back to Panarin. Fox puts it around and toward the high left faceoff dot. Zibanejad tees it up, and I do believe this is going to be a tip. This could be Chris Kreider's goal. Expertly tipped in front. This will go to Chris Kreider. Mika Zibanejad will get a primary assist. Svechnikov with a one-time opportunity to Teravainen, and that gets stopped by Shesterkin. So we could have had back-to-back goals in 15 seconds. But as it stands right now, the Rangers are up 2-0 with 11:35 left to go in the first. Svechnikov's shot goes high and out of play. So the penalties are killing the Carolina Hurricanes right now. They've taken 2. They've got scored on 2. And that is exactly what you want. I said this at the beginning of the game in terms of the Rangers. And I said this earlier when we covered, I believe it was Game 5 when it was in New York and they won. I said this. If New York found their offense, I love the way that they play defense too. And with Shesterkin between the pipes against Antti Raanta, if they can just find their offense, I think they'll be okay and they'll find a way to win this series. Now, Carolina Hurricanes, according to Wayne Gretzky, was the Stanley Cup champion in his bracket. They're in danger right now of losing this. Again, I know it's early, but it's 2-0 with 11:30 left, and Carolina has never really looked like this at home. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, that was loose out in front. Svechnikov was trying to get a piece of it. Now K'Andre Miller, Ryan Reeves, the former Vegas Golden Knight, goes in there. And we're having a little bit of a scrum in front of the net of Shesterkin right now. Yeah, it's one of those situations, again, with the home team, as you said in the previous board there with the Miami Heat. You come out and you get punched in the face by the Boston Celtics, and you got to be able to try to find your resolve. But at some point, Darren, like you're saying, it's one of those situations, too, where how many times can you play from behind before it comes back to bite you? Now, again, being down 2-0 is probably being down, let's say equivocally, 10 to 15 points in an NBA game. You get down 3 or 4, I mean, this game is over at this point. Again, it would take a lot to come back. Again, with Igor Shesterkin in the pipes, that is a huge advantage here for the New York Rangers, no doubt about it. He's one of those guys that is probably going to win the Vezina, as he should. Antti Raanta plays this around the goal cage right now. Carolina's just got to try to find their footing. So the fourth line's out right now. With the Jesperi Kotkaniemi, he's going to dump this one in. He tried to go right after Adam Fox to be able to get a cheap shot in here before the hybrid icing. So Carolina's probably going to have to get to that mold to try to get underneath their skin. And now it looks like you got Ryan Reeves going into the box. So this has just been a mass of humanity going in and out of the box at every single given time. So the discipline has not been there for either team. Right now, it's Ryan Reeves 2 minutes on interference for Brendan Smith. And yeah, he never had the puck. He cheap shot at him right toward the left faceoff dot with the puck not even in sight. So Carolina has another opportunity. Their second power play of the contest. They were 0 for 1 with one shot. They were just 1 for 15 in this series. And for Carolina, with the unit that they have out there that they can split between the first and second power play, that's a real surprise for me. So Marty Necas gets this back from Tony DeAngelo. He's going to quarterback this thing. He sets it up for Necas. Necas gets a left side entry. Teuvo Teravainen finds this thing as it bounced off the left side of the boards. Tony DeAngelo now going to shoot there with Necas in the high slot. And Shesterkin took no chances. He gloved and held this one. 10:33 left to go in the first period. The New York Rangers are enjoying a 2-0 lead, courtesy of 2 power play chances. It was Adam Fox with Alexei Lafreniere and Andrew Kopp at the 3:40 mark, and at the 8-minute mark exactly, it was Chris Kreider on the power play from Mika Zibanejad and Adam Fox, which made it 2-0. Chance here right now for Carolina to get an offensive zone draw after Shesterkin had to hold. Barclay Goodrow is on the New York Rangers penalty kill right now. Remember, he was part of the Tampa Bay Lightning third line when they won the Cup last year as well, and then moved over to New York. Again, he's stuck in a Game 7 right now. D'Angelo holding, trying to give and go. This one to Natchez, stopped by the goal pad of Shesterkin, and this falls back in as the pass was picked off. This goes down the ice. Tony D'Angelo picks it up from Monty Ranta. As Carolina tries to reset here with 1:05 left to go on the power play, D'Angelo weaving his way into the bowling pins, finds Teuvo Teravainen toward the left faceoff dot. Nice chip in there. Have to rattle this around the kick play. This goes back to D'Angelo. D'Angelo passes this across. Natchez fires it again, and a flashy glove save there by Shesterkin as he flashed the leather. And just again, anytime you see those saves, especially with a 2-goal lead, you kind of feel a little bit of, I wouldn't say desperation at 9:50 left to go in the first. So much time left there. And Carolina is such a good offensive team. They're balanced all the way across the board. But undisciplined is what I would definitely say on both sides, and especially for Carolina, that is a big surprise. Shesterkin's made 10 saves. Carolina wins the offensive zone draw. Svechnikov tried to hammer it as it bounced off the kick play back to himself. And now New York might be able to get to this thing. Nice keep in, but a nice hit offsides by Goudreau. And now everybody comes together with Kotkaniemi, Svechnikov, Adam Fox. They didn't like the little hit off the side of the boards, but it is what it is. You got to be able to knock somebody off the puck and stop the pace of play. So 42 seconds left to go on the Carolina power play. It's second of the game. New York Rangers have already had 2. They've scored twice. With 9:38 left to go in the first period. John on here with you. I'm your play-by-play man for this Eastern Conference semifinal, Game 7. We're on the road. The New York Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. We're at PNC Arena, where Carolina's trying to go a perfect 8-0, and they might relent the time of being 0-6 on the road as they're down 2-0 at home with 9:25 left to go in the first stanza. Slavin trying to get an entry, and New York is letting him go right in on a 4-on-1. And now this bounce around the kick play, but Niederreiter's got it, but he can't hold. This goes back to Slavin. Niederreiter's going to play catch with this thing. And Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Now Svechnikov. Svechnikov lost it. Trouba plays this one down the ice, and it finds Carolina first, and now intercepted. 2-on-2. Shot goes wide of Ranta toward the right faceoff dot. And now this is Ristolainen. Going to move this one back. They're trying to pick this one back up. Jesperi Kotkaniemi spins and holds toward the left faceoff dot before he almost gets dumped there by Adam Fox. He's being doubled there. Thrown back out. Niederreiter in front of the blue paint. Slap shot goes wide. Now this puck is back in toward the left faceoff dot where Brady Shea can pick this one up. Niederreiter, part of the third line offense. Niederreiter tried to play an innocent pass back, but he had nowhere to go. New York has been able to do really well off this forecheck right now, and they're causing all sorts of problems here for Carolina just to be able to get started. Even though it's 10-5 on the shot board, it feels like much less. Even though Carolina has that advantage, they're down 2-0 on the score sheet. 8:05 left to go in the first. Picked up nicely out of the air by Heedle. And this is played out in front for Lafreniere, but his shot goes wide. That probably would have beat Ranta clean if he would have got that on net. You kind of wonder what Ronta's nerves are feeling like. This puck bounces off the back end of it. Brendan Smith in the third line defense gets his pass intercepted. 3-on-3. Trying to play it out in front for Capo Caco, and this gets intercepted. Aho will just get this across the red line and get this down the ice. This goes back to New York right now, where Latrina Panarin can play this one deep in Ian Cole with Brendan Smith. Smith in the third line defense, former Detroit Red Wing, will get this one back down the ice with Keandre Miller and Jacob Trouba as they can reset here for the Rangers because Zibanejad trying to get through ahead, trying to get around the eye of the Hurricane there, that middle of the logo, and this is picked back up now by Strome. Zibanejad, slap shot in front, stop. Panarin had a really good shot at that from Mika Zibanejad with a nice one-timer setup. Zibanejad, right face-off dot, holding off the forehand, now spinning around, trying to play a pass off the backhand, but he couldn't find it to Panarin. And this goes back to Jacob Trouba. Jacob Trouba flutters this one in, and this goes behind the goal stick of Ranta right now. Now Carolina trying to get out through the neutral zone. Marty Natchez will play a chip and chase. He finds it, gets it back himself, goes in behind the net. He's still with this thing right now. I got through 4 different Rangers as Carolina is trying to get in behind their own net and get something going. Trocheck, slot pass, high slot there, pinballs Off back to Trocheck toward the left face-off dot. Brady Shea. Brett Pesce lets it go into the screen, but it got flubbed before it even got to Nature's stick. And this can't be held in the Carolina offensive zone, so Brady Shea will go all the way back on the second line defense. Shea gets hit, picked up by Pesce, and now one more time for Shea as he's just getting destroyed there by Ryan Reeves on the red line side as we're down to 6:05 left to go in the first. This goes across the red line. Carolina is the first to get to this thing now. As Jesperi Kotkaniemi spin and hold toward the left faceoff dot, trying to leave one on the high slot. Pinball goes back to Kotkaniemi. Now Cole. Kotkaniemi picks it up now toward the left faceoff dot. This finds Nino Niederreiter now as he played in behind the red line. Trying to save it in there was Cole as he keeps that blue line. And now it's turned over. Kotkaniemi lost it. And York will get this one down. Ronta will brush the rebound aside as Jacob Slavin and Andrew Kopp collide. And now here's a chance for Nino Niederreiter. This goes in behind the boards of Igor Shesterkin. Stahl plays it out in front, trying to get tipped in midair by Nino Niederreiter, but Shesterkin will hold. 5:26 left to go in the first period. It is a 12-6 shot advantage for Carolina, but the Rangers celebrate twice on the power play. 2-0 Rangers. When we come back, we're going to finish up the first period most likely. Stay tuned.
We make incredibly comfortable socks, underwear, and t-shirts. And we donate one for every one you buy.
Are you suffering from bloated bulge? Probiotic from Force Factor can help. Probiotics improve digestion while EGCG burns fats. Thousands of men and women trust Probioslim to help them lose weight. Rush to Walmart for Probioslim, the #1 probiotic fat burner in America.
Never be afraid of your strength. Because your body is capable of amazing things. The one that said you shouldn't have. The one driven by the they can't see. Own your strength. And see how far it takes you.
New York Rangers get a great start here in the first period. All these penalties and backs it off will put them on the power play. I like it. Here comes the time of Washington 1-0. There's a Jacobs through a hit.
I've seen a lot of New York Rangers fans go into this, especially from the performance of Game 6 when they were at MSG, and say, if we could just repeat this one more time, we're going to be the ones that are taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning on Wednesday, about 8:15. I think it's going to be the same time. I'll have that put in once we get the official time from NHL, but we have a Game 7 to win before that happens. Mika Zibanejad wins the defensive zone draw, and the Rangers have possession once more. This flutters all the way down toward Antti Ranta's goal cage. 5:15 left to go in the first. We'll see if Carolina can find a way to get on the board before the first period ends. They're down 2-0 at home, and that is a surprise. They're a perfect 7-0 in the playoffs right now. But again, 0-5 on the road, and that's not going to get it done. Or 0-6, I should say, if I did math correctly. Schneider lost it, picked up now by Slavin, and now this goes back to New York as they're fighting for it because Zibanejad him on the goal cage. He gets roughed up there by Niederreiter and Shea. Somehow Panarin is able to find his way through, and they play this toward the left face. I thought Ranta found it and held it. And if you looked a little nervous there, I didn't see it. Again, Ray Ferraro was asked by Sean McDonough on the ESPN side if Ranta looked a little nervous on either of those goal attempts, and he flat out said no. It's one of those situations where Carolina, on a backup goaltender, they can't go ahead and put Ranta out to dry and give up two costly penalties. And that was a big hit there. I think Trouba on Jarvis was able to get that 53 hits and 26 block shots. The only player with more than 40 hits and 20 block shots. He's got 53 and 26. So Trouba is normally a first-line defender. Again, you remember him on the Winnipeg Jets. He's on the second line now because the Rangers are so deep on that side. And he's a really good two-way defenseman, meaning he can score and defend with the best of them. He does not afraid to do a little bit of everything. This goes back now toward Seidel. Seidel and Lafreniere collide. On the other side of Lindgren's trying to get this free. Ryan Lindgren. Seidel. Lindgren out in front. He just couldn't get a stick on it, or if he did, he was falling down. He could have had an accurate look at Ronta, but it went just wide. And now it's icing against the Carolina Hurricanes. 13-7 is the shot board, but New York is up 2-0 despite having 7 shots, courtesy of 2 power play goals. So I'm going to put this official time in there now because it'll be Tampa and Carolina and the Rangers. I'll put that in after the game is done. So I'll be on the air at 8:15 tomorrow and 8:15 Wednesday for both of those games. There'll be game 1, starting with the Western Conference first between the Oilers and the Avalanche, and then whoever wins this one will be taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Picked up behind the net, the Rangers trying to find this one. Artemi Panarin expertly was able to just spin this one around. Again, he was being hounded by 3 different Hurricanes. He's still got it now. He's in toward the high slot. It got tipped out in front of Ronta, but Strome couldn't get a big stick on it there. It still got it. Strome tried to wrap it around Ronta. Kopp is out in front, tried to shoot off the left side of the post, but Ronta held that one firm. Again, that would have been an easy opportunity to score on here for the Rangers, but Ronta, you're going to mark that one down. That was an excellent save. He looked calm and poised, being down 2-0, holding on to that left post. It was Panarin and Kopp on the second line playing that one well, and Ronta just held his position off the post to post because they tried to wrap it around and then stuff it on the side, spin it all the way around the blue line, and another shot Ronta had to stop as well. So offensive zone draw here for the Rangers. A couple good opportunities there on Ronta, but he held strong. Cole gets this one down the kick play, picked up now by Natchez. Natchez lets it go, and Shesterkin makes the easy skate save there, and this goes back to Philip Hedl. With Alexei Lafreniere on the third line side, it got bounced out in front. Nino Niederreiter. Aho, nice chip and chase. Aho have to spin and try to find this puck off the backhand. Adam Fox comes all the way in to intercept, and Artemi Panarin will get this one back down. Almost lost it, but it's 4 Rangers, 4 white shirts there, and the puck bounces off of Carolina. They cannot hold the blue line as this goes back to Jacob Slavin and Tony DeAngelo, first line D pair. Teuvo Teravainen leaves for Aho. Chance for Svechnikov if he can pull through, and Shesterkin says, none of that, thank you, I'm going to hold on. As we have a little meeting here with Jarvis and Trouba toward the cage of Shesterkin. So 2:42 left in the first period. We're going to take a ESPN timeout. We're going to finish up the first period when we come back.
Meet Renee, bank manager and mom of 4. But when she gets on her bike, she becomes Renee. Well, Renee was the most outspoken member of the club, and she didn't even read the book. It's rumored she once used her phone at midnight, and she was into phone precincts and homes to get things done. And Rebel Renee rides with Geico, biggest savings and great service for 2 things she never fell against. Geico, savings and service for both your sides.
Introducing the most rugged Honda vehicles. We built them for challengers. People who lean in life's curves. You hit a bump and only soar higher. Rise to the challenge. The Honda Pilot, CR-V, and all-new Passport Trail Sport.
So again, the final 4 of the Stanley Cup playoffs getting close to being set here. Avalanche Oilers, I'll be on the call 8:15 tomorrow for that one. And then the Lightning is going to take on whoever wins this one. The Rangers are enjoying a 2-0 lead. The Rangers have the defensive zone draw win right now as it's down to 2:30 left to go in the first period. Again, the Rangers have scored twice on the power play. Carolina has looked a little bit out sorts as far as their offense. Again, they've had some shots on the shot board. Chance out front, Aho! And it never got to Shesterkin. He never had to make that save. That was a chance for Teuvo Teravainen right on the doorstep. Carolina desperate to try to score one here before the period. D'Angelo just misplayed it. And now this goes back to Chris Kreider. Mika Zibanejad will just slap this one into the zone and go ahead and take a change as this goes back toward the goal stick of Antti Ranta now. Picked up now by Tony D'Angelo and behind the cage as Carolina's going to take their sweet time before they look to break out. Sebastian Aho turning on the Jets, 3-on-1, holding up the backhand, high slot opportunity. Brady Shea stopped there by Shesterkin. The rebound was loose, but the Rangers were able to put that in toward the left faceoff dot. Finds Shea. Here's a chance for Aho. Aho leaves it for Pesce. Lets it go into the screen. Shesterkin is down. Snow Angel lost the goal stick. Where's the puck? And I think this is in between Shesterkin as he did the Snow Angel on the ice. He lost the goal stick. And yes, it is in between the bodies. So the chance of Igor on the New York Rangers MSG watch party, I'm sure, are being serenaded there. What a stop there for your likely Vezina candidate winner there, Igor Shesterkin. The first rebound was knocked away expertly, but Carolina, to their efforts there, they never relented as far as a second, third, fourth opportunity. Shesterkin falls down, loses the goal stick, had the Snow Angel with the puck in between him, and he held firm, and the puck stayed out. He's already made 17 saves here in the first, and we still got a minute 30 left to go. So offensive zone draw win for Carolina, but stolen expertly by the Rangers here. Nice chip and chase, but batted out of the air there by the Carolina defense of Slavin. And this goes back from Shesterkin, get a nice setup pass, and now it eludes New York. Is Carolina trying to do something like this across the red line, but it's up and on a play in the players' bench. So we're going to get a neutral zone draw. 17 shots for Carolina, 10 for the Rangers. 1:14 left to go in the first. John out here with you at PNC Arena. Carolina trying to go a perfect 8-0 at home. They're 7-0, but they are 0-6 on the road, and that might rue the day right now. They're at home, but they're down 2-0. Vinny Trocheck wins the draw as this goes back to Brett Pesce. Pesce tries to play this one across the kick plate. The Svechnikov gets this one out ahead. Chance for Chris Kreider. This is a one-on-one opportunity. Can Chris Kreider beat Shea? He cannot. Shea gets this one down, but it's kept in by the Rangers off the forecheck. And here's a chance for Hedl. Hedl and Kakko trying to collide off that forecheck, and Carolina trying to find their way out of it as we're down to 40 seconds left to go in the first period. Svechnikov, chance for Natchez. He tried to play this one from behind the net of Shesterkin, but a nice dive and shot block stopped the opportunity before it ever got there. 33 seconds left to go in the first period. And it looks like the Rangers, no matter what, whether it's one or two, is going to have a lead going into the first period on the road in a Game 7. And you have to feel good with that because, again, Igor Shesterkin, look at it. He's made 15 saves already here in this first period. He's got plenty of opportunities against him. Again, some of those ones, Trouba with another monster hit as Carolina wins the offensive zone draw. It's set in toward the left side blue line. Tony D'Angelo looking for a tip. It got stopped by Shesterkin, picked up by the Rangers, but the Hurricanes and Slavin try to get this across the red line, and it's intercepted. Chance for Strum. Glove save there by Ranta. Big rebound, but it goes right to the Hurricanes. Shea plays it out for Tony D'Angelo. Nino Niederreiter off the backhand. He plays it around the left face-off dot, now down to 3 seconds, down to 2. That is going to end the first period right now as there's a massive humanity toward the left face-off dot. And the Rangers up 2-0 after 1. And Igor Shesterkin has looked very solid in between the pipes. This is a very auspicious start for Carolina. Again, I believe they're good enough to be able to get back into this game. But you get down 3 or 4, with Shesterkin already playing as good as he is, that could spell big-time trouble. Come right back. We're going to call the second period after the intermission.
Dream start for the Rangers. I still think 18 shots for one period. They're relying too heavily on Shesterkin. Not as tight checking as you thought it'd be, especially in Carolina. But power play, key to that first period. All coming up from the rest of the way. Intermission.
The next hand in the division couldn't coach Johnny at a private state. Stop number one on email. The one you open the email, drugstore purchases. And recent transactions, go ahead 600. 620. 640. 660. 680.
Only two things are forever: love and Liberty Mutual customizing your car insurance. So you only pay for you need. If anyone objects to this marriage, speak now or forever hold your peace. No, Kevin, no, not today. Only pay for what you need. Liberty, 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 liberty.
Joel, since Kansas we've taken our home. We've never done what everyone else did. We took on the fear. We ignored the doubt. We loved the excitement. We believed. Even when our path didn't make sense to everyone else, we kept going. We keep going until our path is the one they wish we could take.
Still the E-Fresh reprint. And now Subway's refreshing their classics. Like the sweet onion teriyaki sauce. Topped on tender shaved steak. That's the real slap dog. Right there across. Let's hold the sub, man. Subway keeps refreshing and refreshing and refreshing.
Introducing Gatorade Fit. Fitness starts from the inside out. Get healthy, real hydration. And no added sugar, artificial sweeteners, or added colors. Fitness starts from within. Gatorade Fit. Healthy, real hydration. All G.
Third week in out. We're scientists, we're engineers, we dance on console.
We get really excited about science, and we want to share that excitement with the world. Windows 11 makes things easier. One of the biggest features I use is working with desktops. I just swiping the screen, I go from being a student to being a gamer. With Snapchat, I have all the important applications on it. Being a mentor to young scientists is one of the biggest dreams we have. And Windows 11 helps us do it.
Welcome to the Lexus Wilson Mission Report. For the first time, they released up the skates. They sailed across the ice. They dreamed like one big for all others. It all comes down to this. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
2-0 Rangers over the Hurricanes in Raleigh, Carolina. North Carolina tonight after 20 minutes of play. A pretty good start for the Rangers. Obviously, the special teams stuff is back. We all saw some nerves in that first start, right? The Game 7 nerves were on full display. And Carolina gets fucked up. Nerves there running around. I hated the first time around. It was a lazy penalty, so I had no need to put the hook on that high. And it's a bad penalty, and it came back to Huffman. But uncharacteristically, Carolina got running around. Fucking it, and getting that tight box. So when you're at 88% all year, and you play aggressive, you better be there. One step behind, you're going to see what happens.
Yeah, I thought that, we talked about execution of big games. You got to execute well. I thought both teams had their moments. Obviously, a dream start for the Rangers, 2 power play goals, but both teams made a lot of mistakes. Hence, you got 20 shots against you, and now you're relying on certain that's got to stop for them to continue to hold on to the lead.
Want to talk about the Rangers looking for more guys like Fox and Kreider. They obviously both contribute. So you mentioned that first penalty on Aho. Here's the Ranger power play.
Pretty good here. Well, I love the goal by Lafreniere right here. He's such a smart player. He already knows Fox is there before he gets the puck there. It's a beautiful little depth back pass to him there, and Fox makes one mistake. Good screen, but Lafreniere is proven to be a super talented player, playoff performer, and not all affected by the immensity of this game.
Lafreniere, to me, is playing the best hockey I've ever seen
At the right time of year.
in this round. I mentioned they're looking for more out of Adam Fox. Fox has 10 points in elimination games this postseason. That's the most by a defenseman in a single playoff year, passing Ray Bark, Ian Turnbull, and Dennis Hockey. So there's a kitty company there. But we all agree the key to that first period is the Jacob Trouba hit on Seth Jarvis. To show you this, this was scary, man.
Clean as they come, shoulders, through the body, his head. And then he leads the rush on top of him, makes a great play, and he almost scores.
So Jarvis can't get off the ice, whereas he's trying to get off. Too many men on the ice, and so well.
Well, I think it's obviously a little too exuberant to make up for him trying to crawl to the ice. Too bad he got hurt because he's a great fine player. And they're going to really, if he can't come back in this team, that's a big difference, especially on the power play. He's a highly offensive player, great offensive instincts. And of course, in this goal right here, you can see going on. Carolina got way too aggressive. Talk about execution. Filling the penalty, which has been really good. They got way too high. They let Kreider 54 goals in the regular season, probably most of the offensive players in New York, all alone in front of net because they're trying to do too much. Stay in your system, stay in your back in your sets, especially kill the penalty and let the game come to you. They're chasing the game.
Yeah, the one little thing you don't know is that Fox, so at the point, that's why he's a quarter. He sold it to Slade, and he thought he was going to go right back to Panarin with that puck. But it doesn't matter. The minute Panarin moved it back to top, he got straight back in front, and that's when he put back in that triangle. And he got way too high. The hash mark should probably be where you should, that kind of tells you where you should be those hash marks and just be in lane. So he would stop on that. Exactly. And he really, give credit to Fox, and then Zibanejad, he recognized that right away. He wasn't shooting to score. He was shooting for the tip. And the Kreider tip, he makes that look easy. It's not easy to do.
Well, he's done that 10,000 times in practice.
Well, here's Chris Kreider coming up. Rangers got a watch party going on at Walden Rink. Look how the ice is there.
The backdrop.
2-0. New York.
This first intermission report is presented by the all-new Lexus LX 600. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer. The all-new LX 600, ready for any arena.
At CDW, we get it's hard to keep employees productive when their work and home lives are busier than ever.
Well, that's why we give cyber assistance to everyone at the company. They handle the home part so we can keep working. Delicious.
At CDW, we can design a productivity solution with Lenovo devices that offer fast, reliable connectivity to help your people manage their workloads, with or without Cyborgs.
Perfect. Guess this guy needs a little work.
For technology that moves you forward, trust Lenovo with IT orchestration like CDW.
This pepperoni was carefully placed by hand by a pizza maker at Papa John's. Just like this one, and that one over there. Ooh, and even these in the crust. Get yourself the new epic pepperoni stuffed crust pizza, only at Papa John's.
Investing in something. You're unofficial.
Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
So, people can get a free Samsung Galaxy S22 when they trade in the Galaxy. Any year, any condition.
Oh, I get it. So you can take your old phone that you've had for 12 years and loved every minute of and trade it in for something new that suits your life now?
That's right, yeah.
Then enjoy immediate success. Even though you'll never forget your old phone.
It's a great trade.
Life changing.
Get a free Samsung Galaxy S22 with any Galaxy trade. Any year, any condition. Only at AT&T.
Right now, we're all feeling the splits. We're having to get creative. Find a new way. But birthdays still happen. Fridays still call for s'mores. You have to make magic. And you're figuring out how to do that. What you have to figure out is where to shop. Because while you're getting creative, Walmart is doing what we always do. Keeping prices low for you every day. So you can save money and live better.
It's 5 a.m. and I feel like I can do anything.
We've got apples and cabbage, 7,000 dahlias, vegetables, and
Brisket for dinner.
This is a happy place.
We've been coming here since 1868.
My grandmother used to say, don't call me, don't bother me, I'm going out to know.
there's a lot of cushy that stuff out there, but
I'll make the herb steak shake without one steak.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your life. Learn how to make the most of yours with Deere.com.
Welcome back to the Lexus First Intermission Report.
First 3 road games of this series for the Rangers. They scored just 2 goals. And they've matched that with 2 goals tonight in the first period alone. The secret from out. Wow. Chris Kreider, moments ago with our Emily Cup.
Chris, no team has won in this building during the playoffs. Is there anything that feels different about this game?
I mean, just trying to take one step at a time. There's been a lot of back and forth games here, a lot of tight games, so I'm just worried about ourselves right now and what we need to go forward in the next couple periods.
All right, well, let's talk about the shift where you scored. You scored 52 goals this year, a lot of them on the tip. Just talk us through what you saw in that play.
Yeah, I mean, all that comes from guys on the perimeter moving the puck well, coming up with loose pucks. And, I mean, you got to respect Mika's shot there. I mean, he's scored quite a few from that spot, so the guy sells out a little bit trying to get the block, and he just finds you back there.
Game 7s are all about managing emotions. Can you just take us inside your locker room before the game? What was the vibe?
Exciting. I think there's a lot of excitement. I mean, this is the kind of game you dream about playing growing up, so guys looking forward to it. A lot of excitement.
Emily also just reported moments ago, Seth Jarvis will not return tonight to the Carolina Hurricanes. And no surprise, you have to see the hit that Trouba gave him. And it's a massive loss for the Hurricanes. The rookie's been outstanding, top line, all the things for Carolina. All right, back to that Kreider goal. I think probably Carolina fans and Ranger fans want to know, that's how does Chris Kreider, the 50-goal scorer, left that wide open all alone in front of the Hurricanes?
Players trying to do too much, getting over exuberant, trying to kill the penalty all at one time, got away from their structure. And I got it right here where you can see when we start. I got the pen here, but if we stop it right here, you can see the Zibanejad right over top, waiting for the pass, blocks up the top here, moving a little bit further, and right here, you can see both defensemen coming out. And this defenseman thinking that Fox might come down to Panarin right over here. So they've got 3 guys right here, and look at this guy. It's all open right here. Mr. Kreider, who scored 52 goals. What does he do? He looks at the other opportunity. Puck comes straight to him. And, of course, he's not going to make a mistake from there. But Shea got caught up a little too far, trying to get a little too over exuberant there, trying to do too much instead of just staying in their structure, and it's got to be back to that.
Expensive real estate there, Charlie.
And no question, Kreider recognized that. He could usually you're told go nuts front, but he knew he's all alone, so he just stood off the side. And for him, that's an easy tip. They have less chance of that goal trying to stop it. But again, Kreider responds a little bit for selling that, but Slater has got it. As soon as Panarin moves back to the point, he got to sprint back to the front.
Carolina up against it, down by 2, no Jarvis, Mason Shesterkin. You're watching the first intermission report.
We have a good group here. We stuck to the game plan. We just got to stay with it. We're right there. We just like, we're starting. We're going to keep. We can't wait to celebrate with them.
Mass Mutual, official partner of the NHL. At Domino's, you can get more than just your favorite pizza. You can get cider chicken, savory pastas, oven-baked Parmesan bread bites, molten lava crunch cakes, and yes, medium to topping pizzas as well. Carry out any 2 or more mix and match items for $5.99 each, or get them delivered for $6.99 each. Whether you're looking to buy something on the small side, or the medium side, or wow, that's really big. Zillow Home Loans can get you the mortgage you need, so you can get the home you want. For financing made simple, there's no place like Zillow. What's the mission?
Explore.
to preserve the one glorious. Because until our last moment, the future's what we make it.
Oh, my brother, don't you worry about me. Don't you worry, don't you worry about
So the Pizza Hut $10 tastemaker has any three toppings you want?
It's the best delivery deal around.
Actually, you can. It's only $10.
Actually, you can. A large three-topping $10 tastemaker. Pizza Hut. It's you.
You pop them in, you go to bed, and they do all the work. Straighten your teeth while you sleep with Smile Breath Club Nighttime Aligner.
You just put them in when you go to bed. You don't have to wear them all day. They don't interfere with your daily lifestyle at all.
You can have your teeth straightened while you sleep.
He doesn't have time to wear something while they're sleeping. We want to wear them just at night. It's perfect for me.
Choose easy. Choose Smile.
Thanks, Smile Direct Club.
Get started for free at SmileDirectClub.com.
Guys, your medical money is too important to trust with outdated formula. Test that remaining report factor is powerful, helping you boost total test value. Build muscle, improve synergy, and improve performance. Rush Fuel Smart for Test X 180 report factor.
What does the future of strength look like? It's dynamic weight adjusts for you in real time for a more efficient workout. And you can only experience it on Tonal. Learn more at Tonal.com.
We're back in Raleigh, North Carolina, Game 7 of the second round playoff series between the Rangers and the Hurricanes. New York leads 2-0.
The Ranger power play takes the second power play goals in the series. Adam Fox shoots through the screen. He looks left, the puck beat him. Right, and then the Zibanejad shot that tipped by Kreider. The Rangers have scored 4 of their last 5 power play shots.
You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN, presented by Geico. One thing that we have found in the series involving the Rangers, John, attempts really don't matter much. Face-off wins don't matter.
So we're getting set here for the second period of action. And for the Carolina Hurricanes, it's not been the start that they really wanted. Again, they were a perfect 7-0 at home, but I've said this many times throughout these broadcasts, and especially during these Carolina Hurricane games. How many times can they allow to be 7-0 at home, try to be perfect at home, and not even win a game on the road, and have that trend continue? Well, right now, that's in jeopardy as the New York Rangers are up 2-0, and it's really the undoing of the Carolina Hurricanes. They've given up 2 power plays. The Rangers have scored on them twice, and that's where we're at right now. And for Seth Jarvis, the Carolina Hurricanes will be down a forward because he took a big hit by Trouba. So we're back underneath the action now as the puck immediately goes on place. That'll give me an opportunity to give a little bit of a reset there. So Adam Fox, 340 on the power play with Alexei Lafreniere and Andrew Kopp, and then Chris Kreider at the 8-minute mark for Mika Zibanejad and Adam Fox. And those are your goal scorers right now. So Seth Jarvis, the rookie for Carolina, it's official, according to Emily Kaplan of ESPN, he's not going to return. So the Hurricanes are immediately down a forward, so obviously that means some double shipping there, either with another forward or another defenseman. Well, usually you only have 6 defensemen, so that probably won't happen on that side. Third line defense is over now. Liam Cole and Brendan Smith as the pass goes through the blue paint, and Carolina is trying to get this out of their own end right now. New York can chip and chase this one deeper as this goes back to Brendan Smith. It finds the goal stick of Antti Raanta, but the Rangers are able to intercept this thing and stay in and keep that pressure on Raanta. Zibanejad centered one, and all the way toward the high slot of the blue line. Try to get picked up now by Andrew Kopp, and it gets played to the high stick, so we're going to do this again. 19-11 left to go in the second period of action. New York Rangers are up 2-0 against the Carolina Hurricanes. Teams leading by multiple goals in Game 7 are 124-13. That's a 90% percentage, about 95. Last multi-goal comeback was in 2019. So Doesn't normally happen in a situation, especially with the Stanley Cup playoffs, unless we're talking about the Battle of Alberta or anything else like that, when nothing could be predicted and goals were just plentiful on both sides. That's usually not how a Stanley Cup playoff game is played. Kopp, Fox, and Lindgren trying to get this one around the own kick plate, still toward the left faceoff dot. Kopp trying to chase after this right now, and another puck goes out of play. This is the third one, and we're still 18:45 into the second period as we're just really getting underway in the middle stanza. So it was 4 penalties aside. So the Carolina went 0 for 2 on their power play. The Rangers went 2 for 2. It is 11-16 on the shot board in favor of the Hurricanes, although they're down 2-0, 8-7 on hits, 19-11 on faceoffs, where Carolina has that advantage, but they need to be able to get something going on the score sheet. Otherwise, they're not really going to have to go home. They can just clean out their lockers because if they don't get this turnaround here pretty quickly with the Rangers, it could be over. You got Igor Shesterkin on the other side in between Antti Raanta, so big difference there. And again, nothing against Antti Raanta as the pinball shot was stopped, but you just don't have the certain artillery there, and Carolina really isn't playing as good as they should. Another shot gets stopped in the blue by Raanta. A couple quick saves. Frank Petrano, the pickup from the Florida Panthers, he's still alive while his team, former team, is not. They got swept by the Lightning. Spun around there by Kreider and Zibanejad. As this camera is getting me dizzy here with this overhead on ESPN. Backhand attempt goes high and wide. Picked up now by Kopp, and thankfully they switched that camera because I felt I was on a tilt-a-whirl there. Alexei Lafreniere. Now it goes back to Brady Shea. Pesce. And what a hit on the other side. Pesce going to let a backhand go. And that was Nino Niederreiter off the Pesce feed. Stopped there by Igor Shesterkin. So 17:40 left to go in the second period of this contest. The Rangers are up 2-0 as things are getting a little tumultuous here for Carolina. And I can't help but wonder as this game goes along, when are they going to try to change tactics? Again, not trying to not score, but maybe bring a little more physicality, try to bring anything else as Lindgren throwing to the boards hard to try to stop an opportunity there for Nino Niederreiter. And I think the stick got lodged in between Nino Niederreiter and Lindgren, fell on the boards hard, but he looks no worse for wear. Offensive zone draw, Vinny Trocheck. He's able to win this one with some help with his friends there. That's what you want off the pin, is you want the forwards to come in there and pinch, be able to get that one free. This goes back to Trocheck now behind the kick plate. But Carolina can't keep this one in. Now Alexei Lafreniere, the rookie from a couple of years ago, has looked really, really good here for the Rangers. He's been very noticeable in this playoffs. Nice back check there by Alexei Lafreniere as he had that dive and knocked it away. Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Smith tried to go high and wide toward the short side right post of Igor Shesterkin. And now this goes back to Trocheck. Natchez trying to be a screen in front of the net. Shot by Smith gets deflected inadvertently by the Hurricanes. Natchez trying to emerge with this thing. Martinov holding in toward the left face-off dot. Still holding off the backhand now. Plays it out in front for Shea, and it bounces off the kick play back to the Rangers. Pick back up across that blue line, and now the Rangers can get this out. Philip Hedl. Nice work off the backhand. He's just going to let it go out in front of Raanta. Stopped by the goal stick. And now the Hurricanes can pick this one up with Marty Natchez. And now he turns it over. So it's going to be Trouba with Keandre Miller, the usual second-line defense. And that's going to be icing against Trouba. So Carolina is going to get an offensive zone draw here with 16:27 left to go in the second period of this contest. John on here with you from PNC Arena. Carolina trying to go perfect 8-0 at home as the shot for Hedl went off of the goal mask of Antti Raanta, but it was still saved. So they're trying to go a perfect 8-0, but the Rangers are putting a stop to those plans. They're up 2-0 right now. Loose out in front, Carolina couldn't corral this one, and now they're going to be taking a penalty. Andrei Svechnikov called for tripping. This could put the Rangers on a 3-for-3 on the power play. But again, this is their third opportunity. They've already scored twice as Andrei Svechnikov is called for a trip. So Carolina has been chasing this puck. They've really not been able to get everything else that they wanted to get going. At the 3:42 mark, Svechnikov gets called for tripping Barclay Goodrow. So Svechnikov in the box. And Svechnikov throughout the second round really has been silent as far as goal scoring, assist opportunities. The Rangers 2 for 2 on the power play with 3 shots, a goal on the last 4 or 5 shots. So with Shesterkin in the pipes, a 2-goal lead with both goals on the power play, being on the power play again. Rangers score here. Carolina's chances are going to start becoming minuscule unless they get some kind of third period surge in the eye of the storm there. So this goes back to Adam Fox, the Norris Trophy candidate. Zibanejad tried to play this one across. Carolina expertly was able to keep this out of the blue line. And they're just going to rattle this around the kick plate where Shesterkin will comfortably play this one. Long outlet pass. Chance there for Zibanejad. Nice give and go there for Kreider. Got it toward the left faceoff now, trying to look in toward the high slot. And this gets knocked away. Rangers trying to find this thing now with Mika Zibanejad, the captain. And now this goes to Andrew Kopp. Kopp now trying to get this across to Zibanejad. Loose again. So Adam Fox, 10 points in elimination games by a defenseman. That's the most in a single playoffs. So he is doing the heavy lifting. And again, if you wondered if Adam Fox a couple of years ago was worth that heavy contract, the answer is yes. Filipino going to set this one up as New York is going to crisscross back into their own zone. So it's 4 wingers trying to enter in, and they're just going to dump and chase this one. Hedl trying to be the first one onto it. Carolina able to find their ways of slapped up, but it's out off the inboards, and it's going to stay a neutral zone draw. As the New York Rangers power play, the third attempt at least, has been very silent, but they still got 36 seconds left to go on the power play with 14:54 left to go in the second period. So the Carolina Hurricanes in this period will be attacking left to right. New York's going to be attacking right to left. Jordan Staal and on the draw there with Hedl. Carolina has 22 face-off wins to just 11 for the New York Rangers. Again, you'd think that would make them more of an advantage here, but they've not been able to solve Shesterkin. But some of those chances, except for the Snow Angel in the first, really haven't been all that difficult for the Vezina men. This goes down the ice to Shesterkin, so Carolina doing a better job of killing this penalty. You would think they would. I mean, they were at 90% in the playoffs at home, and they've already given up 2, so they can't afford to give up anymore. Hedl try to chip and chase this one in. Alexei Lafreniere, they'll be the first to get to it. And Carolina will get this one down the ice, so that's going to really negate the New York Rangers power play for the third time, but they're 2 for 3, so 66% is not bad. As the fans rise to their feet about something, they finally got a penalty kill, some positive momentum there. Nito Niederreiter trying to pass this one back out in the own end. Sebastian Aho trying to get to this first, but it finds Igor Shesterkin's goal stick. Flubbed out. Nito Niederreiter keeps it alive, and the Rangers now find this one. Try to bounce it to Adam Fox off the kick plate. It goes back to Shesterkin one more time. Lindgren lost a glove hand. He was able to get that back on as Brett Pesce was trying to keep this alive on defense and pinching for Carolina. And now Barclay Goodrow will get this one here for Tyler Motte. Motte, cross pass there. Hedl tried to bounce it off the kick play. Goodrow couldn't corral it. He could have had an open net to shoot at. Hedl now. Goodrow trying to play catch and spins around to Keandre Miller, but it doesn't get there. And now Motte going to let this one go, but Monta sees it all the way and holds. As we get a timeout, 13:23 left to go in the second period. Rangers still up comfortably, twice on the power play. They're up 2-0.
Get ready. Our most popular battery is even more powerful. The stronger, lasts longer Energizer Max.
For scientists, we're engineers, we dance, but not so much. Windows 11 makes things easier. One of the biggest features I use is working with desktops. I go from being a student to being a gamer. Being a mentor is one of the biggest dreams we have. So Windows 11 helps us do it.
Subway now has Italian-style Captain Cold on the new Supreme meats and matzo, just like my Nona makes when she cooks.
I don't cook.
Quickly.
It's a good thing you spoke handsome.
Subway keep refreshing and
Introducing Gatorade Fit. Fitness starts from the inside. Out. Get healthy, real hydration. And no added sugar, artificial sweeteners, or add colors. Fitness starts from within. Gatorade Fit, healthy, real hydration, all G.
Back in Raleigh with the Rangers leading the Hurricanes 2-0 in the second period. A moment ago, Emily Campbell and Ron Brindamore.
Ron, how are the penalties affecting your team in fighting a game?
Well, literally, I mean, we had a great first period, and we just took 2 penalties, and they found the back of the net. So, other than that, it was a good first period. Now we got another penalty here, taking us right out of our rhythm. So, hopefully, we went and killed that one. Now we got to see if we can get our steps going here.
You know, Seth Jarvis is not really a return. You have confidence that he threw up.
Well, I didn't really get a look at it. I just saw him crumble to the ice, so I didn't, just worried about the player.
Both goals in this game on the power play for you. Fox and Kreider in the first period. There's Alex Fox, 4-year-old quickly in property of the Carolina Hurricanes organization. There's a penalty coming up, and it's New York. Carolina going to the power play for the third time. 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 16 in the playoffs, and Ryan Lindgren is slow to get up for the Rangers. It's a critical player for the Rangers here. Slow to his feet, athletic therapist Jim Ramsey hopes to take a look at him. He has fought a lower body injury since game 1 of the Pittsburgh series. In this games 2, 3, and 4. The officials are talking about this.
Sorry guys, I had to just upgrade some batteries here. Died in the recorder. So unfortunately, as we check back into the action here, Ryan Lindgren, one of the top defensemen that's paired with Adam Fox, is going straight to the locker room, not putting a lot of weight on those legs, and Gerard Gallant is furious. We have a hooking penalty coming against the Rangers, as I had to upgrade some of these batteries here in this recorder. So Frank Petrano, 2 minutes for hooking Jesper Fast. And I want to take another look at, once I can, for that hit against Lindgren once they show that there. But Lindgren is out for the Rangers. I don't know if he's going to return, and Seth Jarvis is already not going to return. So if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning, you have to be thinking about a 7-game series. You've got the 4-game sweep. You've got all the momentum and the rest. You have to feel good about that one. And the more bodies that are injured, the better, if you're a Lightning fan, as far as that's concerned. So D'Angelo has a chance on their third power play attempt. Carolina is 0 for 2 with 4 shots, 1 for 16 in the series. Marty Necas now trying to spin toward that blue line side, trying to leave it there for Aho. Aho try to go back to Necas in the high slot. This goes back to Sebastian Aho. Necas, chance for Slavin off the one-timer, and it bounces off the inboards, and it goes back to the Rangers, who dump this one down the ice, and the Carolina power play is down to a minute 15. 12:10 left to go in the second period. John on here with you. Vincent Trocheck lost it. He tried to get a zone entry by himself, as it's 12:05 left to go in the second period. ESPN a momentary collapse on the feed, but we are back. Tony D'Angelo gets this now toward the right face-off dot. He's going to leave it there for his defensive part. Remember, they're going for 4 forwards and 1 D-man. You usually do that here on the power play. D'Angelo gets it back now. Panarin finds this one, and New York was able to get this one as Mika Zibanejad gets this one down. But you kind of wonder how New York is going to be able to fare, because you think in between Seth Jarvis and Lindgren, Lindgren's probably the more important player between the two. Trocheck tried to pass it out in front, but nobody was home. D'Angelo leaves it there for Niederreiter. Kasperi Kotkaniemi gets the shot block. Spun back around for Aho. Kotkaniemi. Now Necas lets it go through the screen, and it goes just to the left of Shesterkin. But in between defensemen, again, you would think that's much more important there, especially on that first line. How will New York be able to respond throughout the rest of this game? That could be something that goes towards Carolina's favor. And for Carolina, they need something to go their way. D'Angelo, high slot, lets it go through the screen. And Carolina's tried to do that a lot on their power play with Tony D'Angelo. But every single time he's let a wrister go in a high slot, it's just been blocked. And now they're showing Lindgren back on the bench. He wasn't putting a lot of weight on those legs So I wonder if he's just going to play through an injury. Ray Ferraro said he's been battling a upper body injury the whole leg. Strome lost it as this goes back to Carolina now. Picked up now by Svechnikov and now picked up by Barclay Goodrow. Goodrow trying to spin. And this goes back to Keandre Miller, second run defense. Keandre Miller trying to dump and chase this one in. Keandre first one to get to this is Jacob Trouba had to pinch him as well. So the forwards are all the way back. There was Strome as the defenseman had pinched in. Now this is in toward the right face-off dot. Picked up now by Jordan Stahl. In behind the cage of Ranta as it goes to his defensive partner, Ian Cole. Cole trying to get an entry here. Natchez lets a shot go, and it goes wide to Sturkin. It bounces back to him off the inboards. Don't think I've seen that too many times. Svechnikov trying to find his way to it. Cole knocks it loose, and this goes back by Mika Zibanejad. Nice skate through between three different Hurricanes as the puck almost fell back to him. And now it negated a break as Aho couldn't get it. And Aho took a high stick of it sounds like, but that was not called. Alan Fox can get this one back down to Mika Zibanejad. Zibanejad, Aho with it now. Banks it off the inboards to Tony DeAngelo. Teuvo Teravainen gets this in deep. Svechnikov off the backhand, holding him toward the left face-off dot now. Trying to find his way across the red line. Great defense by Keandre Miller. He never left him alone. 9:15 left to go in the second period. No goals so far in this second period, but New York still enjoying a 2-0 lead courtesy of 2 power play goals. And then offsides is going to be called against the Rangers. 9:08 left to go in this second period. Carolina has a 20-16 advantage on the shot board, but the Rangers are still up 2-0 courtesy of 2 first period power play goals. We're going to call more of the second period action in a moment. Stay tuned.
Nothing in the wall. Nothing in the bed. I found a corner. And buttons. There's money hiding somewhere in our house.
Private mortgage, you can use the equity in our home to turn it into cash.
So I can stop looking and we can finally consolidate our debt.
Yes, Lisa. Or a better way to find money in your home. You're leaving on me with an honorable discharge. I need to take care of my family. How can we give you honorable work? Well, we worked before. There's only one way to do this. This contract expires today on digital. On June 7th.
This is Antonelli's Tea Shop, and we're the Antonellis.
We chose their Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One because we earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase.
And with no preset spending limit, our purchasing power adapts to our business needs.
What's in your wallet?
What happens if you haven't used this word for a long time?
I might miss work.
Sprain ankle?
Yeah, basically that's
Get kicked by a horse.
scurvy.
Plan today. Feel comfortable about tomorrow. Mass Mutual.
The Eastern Conference final begins Wednesday.
Getting back into the official action here momentarily. No rest for the weary here for either of these two teams going into Game 7 Wednesday. They're going to have to face the heavily rested Tampa Bay Lightning, trying to go for a back-to-back-to-back. We still got 9:05 left to go in the second period with the New York Rangers scoring chances by period, 7-0 in the second, 8, and then 1 in the second for Carolina. But the Rangers are up 2-0, courtesy of 2 power play goals in the first period. But it's been relatively silent here in the second with not a lot of chances. And that really doesn't favor Carolina at this point, being down 2-0. You can say, look, I mean, they feel that they have a little bit of a subside to get back in their defense, feel better about that end, but not a lot of offense to speak of for the Hurricanes here. Natchez, Trouba with the spin around, as he's able to get around Marty Natchez there, now Filipino. Leaves it there for Barclay Goodrow. Beetle tries to go across to Alexei Lafreniere, but this goes by the blue line where it's picked up by Marty Natchez. Natchez one more time as Trocheck will flutter this one in off the kick play as it goes to the Norris candidate Adam Fox. So Adam Fox is out there with Keandre Miller right now. So you wonder if Ryan Lindgren will be able to come back into this game. He's on the players bench right now, but when he took that hit, it did not look very good. He wasn't putting a lot of weight on those legs, but he is on the players bench. Puck bounces back to Shesterkin as Carolina gets this down deep. Brady Shea will pinch this in deeper here for the Carolina Hurricanes. Now this finds Chris Kreider. Mika Zibanejad now to Adam Fox. New York still trying to get this out of their own end. Shesterkin waiting patiently toward that right post. Andrei Svechnikov. Shot gets blocked before it hits anything else of Shesterkin. It's 9:15 offensive zone ice time for Carolina to 5:55 for the New York Rangers. Shot for Pesce gets blocked out in front. A lot of these shots, as I've said, a lot of them have been from the blue line, and they've not got the Shesterkin, so it's been excellent defense on both sides. 12 block shots for the Rangers, and now one finally gets there courtesy of Nino Niederreiter, but a right pad save stops it as Shesterkin holds. So 12 block shots to 5 in favor of the Rangers. They're up 2-0 on the score sheet. And for every moment that passes by, look, I know we got another whole third period to go after this, but every moment that passes by and the Rangers buying in on defense, again, they're showing Ryan Lindgren, 9:53 of ice time, 1 hit, 2 block shots. He may be able to give it a go there. He's still sitting on the players' bench, sipping that Gatorade. So you have a chance to kind of skate that out a little bit when things aren't so tense. Maybe toward the end of the period when there's not a lot going on and test that and see how Lindgren is feeling. But with every moment that passes by here, and as these shots continue to not hit Shesterkin, and Carolina is down 2-0 already, you can't help but wonder where the offense is going to come from and what they're feeling in their stomach as far as those butterflies. Picked up now by Andrei Svechnikov. Svechnikov trying to fight through 2 different Rangers is put in a box there by Trouba and Zibanejad. This goes back towards Slavin and from the blue line. Pinball down in front. Panarin trying to get this one out. Almost taking a high stick there was Jacob Slavin. And this goes back into the Carolina defensive zone. Kreider trying to get to this one first. Slavin is able to fight him off as this gets across the Hurricane logo. Tony DeAngelo holding for the right faceoff dot. He just lets a 5-hole shot go. Shesterkin saw it all the way and he held with 6:19 left to go in the second period. So for Igor Shesterkin, you'd think about it wasn't what he wanted within the last 7 games when he was pulled. Ever since then, this dude has been absolute money. Nobody's going to have the 987 save percentage that Andrei Vasilevsky had against the Florida Panthers in a 4-game sweep. That is more than robot-like. That is Terminator-like in that regard. And if any goalie has a 987 save percentage, you're not winning. It's pretty much bar none. It doesn't matter how good your team is. But Shesterkin has been very good. He's had his numbers hover around the 940 mark, which is exceptional in its own right. I mean, if you're about 910, you're doing a good job. But 987 with Vasilevsky is just utterly ridiculous. So chance for Mika Zibanejad. He couldn't win the draw. This goes back to Ian Cole. Offensive zone draw when Jesperi Kotkaniemi tried to play it out in front. Cole's going to try to keep this one in toward the high right faceoff dot. York can't find it right now. Carolina desperately trying to get something going as the offensive zone time continues, but they don't have much to do with it right now. Cole still keeping this in toward the blue line side. Tyler Mott got it out. This goes to Svechnikov. Martinook plays it out in front. He missed it. Fox was able to step in front of it, and then a big hit on the other side that was dished out by the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina trying to get some changes and enter in their own zone as they're going to dump this one in. Adam Fox with a goal and an assist in 15-20 of ice time. Played a lot of heavy minutes on the first line defense. Martinook trying to find his way through this one with the Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and this goes back to Jacob Slavin. 5:20 left to go in the second period. New York attacking right to left once they get this puck with Alexei Lafreniere put out in front of the goal cage. Alexei Lafreniere still trying to work through with Filipino as now this goes back to the red line, and Brady Shea can get this one down across the red line. Carolina just trying to get anything going here on offense, but there's not been a lot of room, not much going on. And New York, to their credit, as I've said, they're a very good defensive squad. Been able to shut it down here, being up 2-0, already getting a couple of advantages from power play opportunities. Chance here for Natchez. But now this goes back to the New York Rangers and Strome. Strome takes a cross check there. Keandre Miller from Trouba This is Zibanejad toward the left face-off dot. It bounces back in front of the cage of Ronta. Now toward the right face-off dot. Blue line shot. Stopped there by Ronta. He's down. The rebound is loose. York still has it. Ronta trying to jump across to make that save. And he's down, and he's hurt. Antti Ronta is not getting up. He dropped that goal stick. I don't know if he took a high stick in the nether regions, but he is bent over. He is keeled over right now, and the camera is immediately looking at Kochekov. Ronta is rolling and writhing in pain right now as Natchez, Trocheck, everyone else is looking over him right now as we get a stoppage at the 4:23 mark, and Kochekov might be getting back into try to get some backup action here as Antti Ronta is down, and we went to an immediate break. When we come back, we're going to sort this all out in a moment.
Everyone knows to get wireless savings, you need to be on a family plan. Oh.
Visible gets unlimited data for as low as $25 a month. No family needed.
I guess I spoke too soon. Visible. Single line unlimited data as low as $25 a month.
As we're getting back into the action right now, I want to make sure that I get this in there. Some little girl has a Ronta sign on there, and she didn't look too happy when Ronta got injured there. He was being carried off on amongst four teammates there. Zibanejad trying to get through there. I'm not seeing where Ronta might have got. If he got hit in the nether regions or something like that with a skate blade, some kind of lower body thing, I'm not really sure if he overstretched something. That something got stepped on and maybe got overstretched. But Ronta was being carried to the locker room with three different players and some help there. So Peter Kochekov was going to check in here. He was 1-1 in the playoffs. He was good in Game 6. So right now, Carolina is going to need everything that they can get out of Kochekov. And if you're the Rangers and you're smart, you're going to get some opportunities on him quickly. Try to add to this 2-0 lead. It's just the nature of the beast right now. Keandre Miller from Andrew Kopp. Kopp holding up the backhand. Slot shot out in front. Stopped by Kochekov. So immediately a big save with the goal in. 2-on-1 opportunity. Oh, cross pass. And it didn't get to Igor Shesterkin. So the Rangers immediately, as I thought, they would get a good shot on there, but Kochekov stood tall. This goes back in. 2-on-1 for the Rangers now. Strome. He scores through the 5-hole of Kochekov. 3-0 Rangers. And just like that, they can really feel it now. Even though there's 3:41 left to go in the second, that's exactly what the Rangers had to do, was test a cold goalie just coming off the bench. And Kochekov, he made a great save on the first one. Strome racing down an open left wing. 5-hole shot beats Kochekov clean. 3-0. Blue shirts, but I should say white shirts here because they're on the road. So great shot there by Strome. He did exactly what he had to do, and I think if I had my broadcast partner, Cooper Hopkins, he would agree with me on that side. You got to get those shots, and again, that is a great shot, but you have to be able to test the sliding goalie, someone coming in there cold, and Ryan Strome, his second career Game 7 goal, his second career goal in the playoffs of this campaign. Fox. 42 shots, 2 goals for Strome. So now the Rangers are up 3-0 with 3:20 left to go in the second period. And again, I've said this before, with every single passing moment that goes by, and now you're getting close to the end of the second period, if you do not get one past Shesterkin, and they're carrying a 3-0 lead, if the Rangers carry a 3-0 lead going into that third period, it's going to be lights out, you would think, as the New York Rangers visiting party, No Quit in New York, the band on the side, everybody's celebrating at Woolman Rink. in Central Park in New York City. So this puck is won by the New York Rangers in the defensive zone, and now this finds Carolina toward the blue line. His shot doesn't get there, so Sturkin gets tipped out in front, and he makes the save. 3:14 left to go in the second period. So we'll get you that latest goal call. That was the first goal of the second period when there was 2 in the first. It's been all Rangers. Ryan Strome with his second of the postseason, assisted by Keandre Miller and Artemi Panarin, made it 3-0 Rangers at the 16:19 mark of the second period. Zibanejad going to take a defensive zone draw. He lost it. Carolina's got to get something going. Shea, Pesci, high off the inboards, and the play is blown dead. We're going to do this draw one more time with 3:09 left to go in the second period. Igor Shesterkin, I'm sure ESPN now, they're going to show all his fabulous saves. I mean, my goodness, you give the Vezina guy a 3-0 lead, you're not going to do too well. I mean, Carolina, for the first time in the playoffs, they've looked very ordinary at home. And dare I say, they've looked lost at certain times. Jesper Fast had his big go wide. Lots of shots from the blue line for Carolina, so Rod Brendamore's squad have not strayed away from the game plan. That's what Carolina likes to do through a lot of these games. But again, you get to the point where you start running out of time. I know it's 2:50 to go in the second period, but all these shots into the blue line are just not hitting Shesterkin. The Rangers are getting out there and blocking it before he even has to even see the attempts and see the puck. So you wonder if Carolina will go into that third period. There'll be some words and exchanges. Look, you're going to say, look, guys, I know we're down 3-0, but we got to be able to not only protect Kochekov, because I don't think Ronta would return, considering the way he was carried off. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But you're also going to have to find a way to continue to find a way to get some shots that are going to hit Igor Shesterkin and actually get to the net, because all these blue line blasts are just being held. Andrew Kopp trying to get this out there for the New York Rangers. It's flubbed in and saved by the goal stick of Shesterkin. And now this is in toward the left face-off dot. 25 shots for Carolina to 20 for the New York Rangers. Stahl trying to get a screen on front of this, goes back toward the blue line, but again, the shot never got to Shesterkin. One more shot for Shea, and it pinballs and stopped by Shesterkin. Picked up now by Carolina once more. New York Rangers having a tough time trying to get out of the zone, but Carolina can't do anything with it right now as we hit the 2-minute mark. Nito Niederreiter, current offensive zone time for the Carolina Hurricanes was 48 straight seconds, but there was nothing going on. But it's going to be an icing against the Rangers, so it's going to be an offensive zone draw here for the Hurricanes. Freddie Anderson, who was one of the best players for the Carolina Hurricanes, he was voted their top player in the season. Freddie Anderson sustained an injury against the Colorado Avalanche, and he had not returned ever since that was toward the end of the regular season. And it's been Ronta's job ever since, but now with Ronta's injury, it's Kochekov in net, and Carolina being down 3-0 with just a period left to try to make it all back up here in a Game 7, it's going to look pretty daunting. This goes in behind the goal cage of Shesterkin. Well, this is a chance for Alexei Lafreniere. This goes back. I think this might have been played with a hand pass as it was blown dead. So now this is going to go back into the Carolina offensive zone with 1:41 left to go in the second period. John out here with you for the last Eastern Conference semifinal of the Stanley Cup playoffs. It is the New York Rangers on the road at PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. They're up 3-0 on the Carolina Hurricanes. It was 2 power play goals, and then just an even strength goal here late in the second period made it 3-0. There was some injuries here. Seth Jarvis will not return, the forward, the rookie. That's been very good for Carolina. He's not going to return. Ryan Lindgren, I haven't seen much of him since he got injured. One of the top defensemen for the Rangers. And Antti Raanta had to be carried off the goaltender that was forced into duty because of the injury to Freddie Anderson the first couple rounds. He got carried off by the help of 3 different others, and now it's Kochekov in net for the last minute 15, and we'll see how longer of the second period. Carolina, Slavin keeps this in there, shot there for D'Angelo. Again, never gets there. Slavin never gets there. And now it gets cleared out by the Rangers as we're down to a minute left to go in the first period of the second stanza. The winner of this game will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning on Wednesday, so there is no rest for the weary, unlike a 7-game series just yesterday on Sunday where the NBA Finals is going to be played on Thursday. This 7-gamer that's going to end here on Monday, I have the complete game story and play-by-play for you. The next one is going to start on Wednesday, so there is no rest for the Rangers and the Hurricanes, depending on the result here. Play blown dead, 43.5 seconds left to go in the second period. Rangers sitting pretty right now, 3-goal lead. Shesterkin looked pretty good. Carolina's plan of attack from the blue line and try to get shots. A lot of them have not hit Igor Shesterkin, so that's been a problem. An offensive zone drive for Carolina. See if they can get anything going. They win it clean. D'Angelo, Svechnikov try to pinball this thing in through the screen, and this goes wide. This goes back into the right faceoff dot. Carolina still trying to find their way through. Played into the blue paint, trying to find Aho, and that one missed. Picked up now by Lindgren. Lindgren is back out there right now after sustaining and fighting through an upper body injury, according to Ray Ferraro. Pass played out in front to Aho, knocked away, and it's down to 15 seconds left to go in the second period. So time maybe for one more rush for Carolina, but they got to do it quick before this second period ends. Brady Shea can't find anyone. Tyler Mott blocks it down, and that is going to end the second period. The New York Rangers, they get one more. They're up 3-0 after 2, and they are in the driver's seat to face the Tampa Bay Lightning on Wednesday at 8:15 Eastern. They got one more period left to go, but they're up 3-0 on the road at PNC. Carolina trailing 3-0 after 2. Come back. We're going to call the third period in a moment.
Thank you, Sean. Still a third period we played out. We'll remind people the mighty Colorado Avalanche just had a 3-0 lead. Came back to win that game in overtime. So we'll see what happens. But clearly the Hurricanes are now up against it, especially out on the road.
Right? Yeah, and pushing again with the Hurricanes, giving up the outnumbered chances, but it's still 2-0 game. You know, why do you think 2-0 this 3-0?
Yeah, I think the Rangers, everything's going well, but they're doing a lot of little things to make the 3-0 lead even that much more impressive.
Yeah, we're going to show you some of those little things. All straight ahead. Discover second intermission reports on the way. New York with a 3-0 lead, a rare road lead.
Toasted cheddar chalupa is back. Only at Taco Bell.
Our priorities have changed.
Hey, what's this? Play my music.
It's not just about getting ahead, but a constant grind. It's about knowing what you want.
Watch for traffic.
And focusing on what matters. Welcome to the next level. This is the Lexus NX with intuitive tech and our most advanced safety system ever.
It's 5 a.m. and I feel like I can do anything.
We've got apples and cabbage, pepper salad, dahlias, vegetables, and
Brisket to dinner. This is a happy place.
We've been coming here since 1868.
My grandmother used to say,
Don't call me, don't bother me, I'm going out to know.
there's a lot of pushy that stuff out there, but
I'll make the perfect steak that I want to take.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your life. Learn how to make the most of yours. Sear.com.
Eliminating grays is as easy as combing your hair. Just from an easy comment color. Just twist and color. Getting natural looking results.
Let's get this meeting started.
It has never been easier. Most men trust Just for Men.
Take an afternoon break to see your next movie. Or maybe the evening is better. Or maybe right after coffee. With flexible and easy ways to start scheduling a tour, there's no place like it.
Why is everyone talking about these? Get nature's superfood. See, total beets from Force Factor help boost heart health and support blood pressure, improve circulation, and increase nitric oxide. Run to Walmart for great tasting total beets from Force Factor, the #1 beets brand in America.
Never be afraid of your strength, because your body is capable of amazing things. Own your strength and see how far it takes you. Total, be your strongest.
We all had obstacles, challenges at different points in life. I still push myself every single day. The harder I push myself, the more I find myself drawn to learn and trust. The first time I put on the Turtle Plus was like sudden release the pressure. It was so crazy. When you are recovered and can do more, that has a compounding effect on all aspects of your life. Stepping into a Turtle Plus, they're truly one of a kind. There's nothing like them. Welcome to the Discover Second Dimension Report.
Hey there, Steve Levy with Mark Messier and Chris Chelios, 3-0 Rangers in 40 minutes in Raleigh tonight. We should point out the Hurricanes have outscored the Rangers 3-0 in third periods at PNC Arena so far in this series. So, but the Hurricanes are going to hang on to anything they possibly can now. Clearly, they are up against it. And they lose Seth Jarvis, a critical forward in the first period, and then they lose their starting goalie. Scramble around Antti Raanta. There's no contact there. Raanta does have a history of lower body injury.
Yeah, you can obviously see when he pushes across there, he overextends that right leg, and it just goes down on the flips it, maybe his knee, his hamstrings, right? But tough break for the Canes.
And then you get Fyodor Kochetkov in there, and Stroll has a brilliant chance. I'm not sure how that didn't go in. There's no editing required for this one. It's a 2-on-1 for Carolina.
Well, it's an unbelievable position for a goalie to come at this stage of the game, in Game 7, without any kind of warm-up. And the first shot he gets, you got to basically do a split save. And he actually does it, gets a pad on it, or after he gets a pad on it. Carolina makes some mistakes here again, getting caught, bad change. Creates a 2-on-1, and sure enough, he gets scored on the first tag. That's a tough position for any goalie. You hate to see injuries in a game like this. Jarvis is a huge component to Carolina's offense. Seeing him go down and now Raanta go down, that puts Carolina in a tough spot.
The difference up to that before the third goal was the power play, and the power play was the Rangers got. And you know that the Canes, they're going to be pitching. They're going to be trying to be aggressive and keep us. And D'Angelo, he has no idea that forward's changing on the far side. So he pitches. It wasn't a great pitch, but it's just unfortunate that the Canes scored and created that 2-on-1 goal. We'll go back to the Jarvis injury in our next segment. We'll show you the true behavior. Maybe the turning point in the whole game. Might be the pivotal point in the game. Maybe it turns out to be in the series. But so the Rangers do all these grand, big things, well, but doing a lot of little things.
Well, the little things never show up on the scoreboard, but when the Rangers brought in Barclay Goodrow, they brought him in for a reason. For games like tonight because of his DNA and what he can bring to the team. He does everything well. He's great on face-off. He's a great penalty killer. He's a leader. He knows how to play in big games. And he comes out here, comes up from a long way away. He goes completely slows down and blocks his shot. And of course, he gets up, wants another shot right here. And this affects the game in Game 7. Everything that happens up there is a potential game changer. He knows it. And he's doing everything he can to get in front of shots, and that's championship DNA. And huge addition to the Rangers.
It reminds me of a Guy Carbonell type player, like he face-offs. He had a knack for angling guys off, wasn't a great skater, and then blocking shots. I think one of the first goals you couldn't get it by him. You feel like you have a lane, all of a sudden, let you go. He just finds a way to get that lane. Right? And look, if the score holds up, Goodrow can find himself up against Tampa Bay Lightning, winning Stanley Cups and a couple of championships with Lightning the last couple of years. Ryan Strome is giving the Rangers 3-0 lead after 40 minutes.
This second intermission report is presented by Discover, the information card of the NHL.
Unlimited cashback match. Only from Discover.
This pepperoni was carefully placed by hand by a pizza maker at Papa John's. Just like this one. And that one over there. Ooh, even these in the crust. Get yourself the new epic pepperoni stuffed crust pizza. Only at Papa John's.
It's time for our Memorial Day sale on the Sleep Number 360 smartphone. Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because every green thumb, 5K, and an all-day dance party starts the night before.
Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed senses your movements and automatically adjusts. It'll keep you both comfortable all night and can help you get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. Sleep Number takes care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition Smart Bed Queen only $19.99 with 0% interest for 36 months and free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday.
Introducing Gatorade Fit. Fitness starts from the inside out. Get healthy, real hydration. And no added sugar, artificial sweeteners, or added colors. Gatorade Fit. Healthy, real hydration. All achieved.
You can only eat one thing the rest of your life, what would it be?
Easy. Buffet.
Pretty sure that's not one thing.
Barbecue buffet.
A buffet is the complete opposite of one.
Again, barbecue ribs buffet. Fries and barbecue chicken on the side.
The overtime and overtime. What do? Return to DiGiorno to be MVP. MB Pizza. Fresh baked taste. The win. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Why do we go out? We get dressed up, knocked down, stood up, hit on, ripped off, and checked. Why do we go anywhere? We do it for the stories. The first kisses, the last calls. We do it for flavor. Messy, sweet, sour, real flavor. Do it for the flavor. True.
It's still the E-Press refresh. It's always refreshing everything. Like the Baja Steak and Jet. Mile high with tender steak, topped with delicious pepper jack cheese. Just kick it up a notch with smoky. How'd you call that sauce?
Yep, they're constantly refreshing.
Y'all get your own commercial. So they keep refreshing.
Joel, since Kansas, we've taken our home. We've never done what everyone else did. We took on the fear. We ignored the doubt. We loved the excitement. We believed. Even when our path didn't make sense to everyone else, we kept going. We keep going until our path is the one they wish they had taken.
Welcome back to the Discover Second Intermission Report.
Emily Kaplan with Jordan Washington just moments ago.
Jordan, what needs to be done here in the third period to save your season?
Obviously, stay out of the box. That's going to be number one, and just keep pushing. We're getting lots of chances. We're pucks are laying there. We stick away. We just got to stick with it. Keep getting traffic and bodies in front of him. He's a good goalie. We gotta keep trying to make it hard on him.
When you returned to the lineup, Rod Vandermoor said that you didn't realize what a big voice you were in the locker room until you were gone. What will you say to the guys here in the good period?
I think everybody's saying the same thing. We got to play 5-on-5, and we got to lay everything up there. We got nothing to save for right now. You're down 3. You got to get after it. So, message is simple: go as hard as you can, and that's all we can do. We got to try and find 3.
Obviously, there's frustration with the number of penalties and 2 of your key players injured. How do you manage those energy and frustration and stay positive?
Well, you gotta think of those guys that have been there the whole way, and that's gotta be a boost. You gotta play for them a little bit. Guys like me and Max that don't play a ton, we're gonna need a little more from each and every one of us. So it doesn't matter if you're a first line guy, fourth line guy. You need to bring it this period. This is our season.
Well, you can see in his eyes, his face, his emotion. Carolina's going to have to push him stuff.
Desperation times, they're going to have to open it up there. That's not really Carolina's game. They like to play much more structured here on the forecheck, but they're going to have to take chances, get the D activated, try to create some off-man rushes, but they're going to be exposed to go the other way and give up some off-man rushes.
So if this score does hold up, however, people will go back and look at that first period. The Jacob Trouba hit, maybe the signature play of this series, and it's not just the Trouba hit, it's what it leads to as well. Well, this is getting to be a little bit of a common denominator for Chuba and Big Gator. He's got his fingerprints all over this game. That hit leads to a 2-1 on the ice, leads the rush. After that, turn around and score the second goal. And if you go back into your 20s and look at a turning point of the game, you can look at this sequence right here. Yeah, to me, that's a turning point. He did the same thing in the Pittsburgh series with Jack Cross. They actually scored a goal right after he did it, and they went on to win that game too. And that's the way he plays. But yeah, and here's that. You're seeing that goal there by Kreider. It was just a perfect shot. Bronson can't do anything. He's got to respect the shot, and Kreider doesn't do that.
And it's all linked together, right? Trouba makes the hit. Jarvis is hurt. He can't get off the ice. They jump on, leaves him too many men, and then they tip back.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you got a defenseman that can play the way Trouba does. Physically, he's moving the puck out of the zone, and makes plays like that. Jarvis is a huge part. It's important to have those teams. When you knock him out of the game, that's a big turning point.
Night has fallen on New York City. The sky has fallen on the Canes season. You're watching the Discover second in the Mission Report. Third is next.
Wow, it's been 38 years since we were here. Back then, we could barely afford a hostel. I'm glad we invested for the long term with Vanguard. Now we're back here again. No jobs, no kids, just us. And our advisors preparing us for what lies ahead.
Only at Vanguard, you're more than just an investor. You're an owner, giving you confidence throughout today's longer retirement. That's the value of ownership.
As electric vehicle driving becomes quieter, so do our tires. ION. Electrified. Hamburg Tire. Official tire of Major League Baseball.
We're Malik and Mel. We're scientists, we're engineers, we dance, well, not so well.
We get really excited about songs, and we want to share that excitement with the world. Windows 11 makes things easier. One of the biggest features I use is working desktops. I just
All right, everybody, now that we are going to be getting closer here toward the third period, let's just give you a quick recap. Most of the stuff is pretty plain as day here, so there's not a ridiculous amount of action to cover. But in the first period, it was Adam Fox on the power play from Alexei Lafreniere and Andrew Kopp. And then a power play once more for too many men on the ice against Carolina. It was Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, and Adam Fox getting the assists. And then it was 2-0 at the end of one. The Rangers made it 3-0, courtesy of Ryan Strome. Peter Kochetkov had to check in goal because Antti Raanta had to be carried off at the 16-19 mark. Keandre Miller and Artemi Panarin got an assist as well. So the 7-0 home stand streak in the playoffs right now for Carolina is pretty much in jeopardy at this point. And the Carolina Hurricanes, even though they're 7-0 at home, they're 0-6 on the road. And this is one of those situations right now. It doesn't matter that there is no more Seth Jarvis because of the Jacob Trouba hit. That was a clean hit, by the way. Ryan Lindgren on the other side for the Rangers also got injured, but he came back. He was skating in the second period. He's been fighting an upper body injury, according to Ray Ferraro as well on ESPN. But it doesn't matter that there is no more Seth Jarvis. He's not going to be able to return. It doesn't matter that Antti Raanta probably isn't going to return. You're down 3-0. You're fighting for your season. You're the Carolina Hurricanes. You've been one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference throughout the entire year. You've got to be able to turn around this 0-6. You have to. You got to be able to turn that around. You can't continue to win all these games at home. If you end up making it and getting through and being 8-0 at home, you do that against the Tampa Bay Lightning, you're going to lose 4-0. So play with everything you got right now. Just try to come out and change the game plan. You can't worry about all these shots at the blue line that are not getting through. You got to be able to find your work your way into the slot, high slot, get some opportunities that actually hits a Sturkin. They're not blocked by the Rangers. Otherwise, there's nothing else left for them to do. It's the same attack coming up and down the ice here for Rod Brendamore's squad. Look, I understand how good Rod Brindamore is. I'm not going to sit there and blame the Carolina Hurricanes for not playing good in one game. But we said this a lot about the Rangers. If they could just find enough offense when they covered the Game 5 with it, they just found enough offense. They could find a way to get back in the series, and they did, getting enough goals. Now you got 3 goals, and you got Igor Shesterkin in the pipes. Carolina's in trouble, no doubt about it.
Monty Ronta will not return to tonight's game. He's been diagnosed with a lower body injury, so the Canes are now relying on the third-string goaltender Pyotr Kochetkov to close this out.
So Peter Kochetkov is going to play the rest of this third period. Emily Kaplan has just reported on ESPN side. Monty Ronta diagnosed with a lower body injury, so that means Carolina has done the third-string goal. Remember, Freddie Anderson got injured in that game against Colorado Avalanche before the regular season ended. So now, Monty Ronta played the last couple weeks. He's been playing very well. Now you have to go into the third period of a Game 7 down 3-0 with the third-string goalie. Carolina's got to find a way. They got the puck now. Martinook dumps this one in. Natchez gets destroyed off the back end. He wanted a cross-check. He picks it back up. Played out in front. One, a stop by Shesterkin as Martinook gets spilled to the ice. And that's exactly what Carolina wanted, but Shesterkin, number 31, made that look way too easy as he's got a wry smile on his face. Natchez gets cross-checked. He finds Martinook off a slick pass, and Shesterkin read it the whole way. He made a save. It was a floating puck. My goodness, that's why Igor Shesterkin is one of those Vezina candidates right there. He's likely going to be the winner. What a save that was at the 1930 mark of the third period. Face-off loss in the offensive zone. Carolina can't get it though. Brady Shea gets his shot blocked. Pick back up. Jesper Fast from Shea. You don't need a rider now. Stahl holding off the back end. Third line is out there right now for Rod Brind'Amour's crew. Stahl trying to leave this back in there for Jesper Fast. Stahl once more and now lost and skated off. Kopp gets this one ahead to Keandre Miller. Keandre Miller is just going to let this go off the kick plate. Kreider will pick it back up using the backhand, using that body. Zibanejad trying to spin off. He gets destroyed there by Shea. No call on the other side. Kreider, Zibanejad trying to play it back to him, and it's intercepted, and Carolina's got it now. This is Jordan Stahl across the blue line. He lost it across the red line now, and Zibanejad will intercept. This is Jacob Trouba, now to Fox. Fox going to spin around with Artemi Panarin. Artemi Panarin now gets it back from the defensive partner. Panarin hits it off the kick plate and gets this one dumped in. The icing is waved off. Kochetkov is going to play this one with the goal stick. Again, the third-string goalie is now in at this point. Jesper Fast holding off the backhand. Fast lost it. Picked up by the Rangers now. Couldn't get to Andrew Cobb. He's still waiting on an open left side wing with the left dot. And this goes back to Zibanejad. Good 200-foot game for the captain to get all the way back in his own end and support the D. Kopp trying to play it in between Slavin. Picked up by Andrei Svechnikov. Svechnikov lost it to Filip Chytil. Chytil almost turned it right over in front of Shesterkin. And the Rangers dodge a bullet there as Jacob Trouba can get this one down, yes. Kochetkov, he plays it to the players now. And again, one word on Kochetkov is he does not speak one word of English for the Russian goaltender. So if there's any kind of communication behind the net, it's just got to be natural on that side. That's from everything I've heard, especially from Emily Kaplan as well. Alexei Lafreniere, it bounced off of Slavin, and Chytil had an offside entry. 17:24 left to go in the third period. The New York Rangers got to feel pretty good about themselves right now. They're up 3-0. Adam Fox with a goal and assist. Chris Kreider with a goal. And Panarin and Zibanejad have an assist. All of them combined for 5 of the 9 points. And those are your heavy lifters right now for the New York Rangers, and that's exactly what you would want in Game 7. So all systems go right now for Gerard Gallant's squad, and they got to feel pretty good about where they're at. Panarin going to get set to take the draw, make that Barclay Goodrow. Barclay Goodrow, former Tampa Bay Lightning. He's able to get this one to open wing, and it's going to be interesting if the Rangers do hold on to this 3-goal lead. They're going to play the Lightning on Wednesday. So he's going to play against his former team with not a lot of rest. Picked up now by Shea in behind the goal cage of Trocheck lets it go. It bounces off the Rep Pesci. Still in the defensive zone as one of the Rangers takes a spill, loses the goal stick right out in front from Marty Natchez. Trying to hold men shoot. Glove saved by Shesterkin. And again, that looked a little too casual for Shesterkin to make such a great save and tight on a high danger chance. But Shesterkin, I think he's locked in at this point. They've not been able to get a lot of shots on the Vezina man, and I would assume he's going to win that one. They're not going to get a lot of shots on him. I think that's going to just build supreme confidence. Like we said, he was pulled about 7 games ago as they had to bring in backup goaltender Alexander Gergiev, and that one almost went off the right side of the bar. But ever since then, he's been excellent. He's made 31 saves in this contest right now as he's looking for a shutout bid, but it's still 16:50 left to go in the third. Screen through Shea off a shot, and it goes up and on a play. So it's going to stay an offensive zone draw here for the Carolina Hurricanes. And we said this in the open going to the intermission, and now I can repeat this during the live game action. It's pretty simple for Carolina. You're down 3 goals. All those shots from the point have not worked. A lot of them haven't even hit Shesterkin for as many saves as he's already had. You've got to be able to find some way to get some high danger chances in the slot or the high slot and try to give Shesterkin some different looks. You'd probably be able to get 1 past him, but to try to get 3 at this point with that strategy, I don't think that's going to work. So Carolina's going to have to make some changes. They're going to have to do so without their starting goaltender now, which was their secondary backup, and Antti Ranta is going to be carried off as Peter Kochetkov is in now. And then in the sense of who's not going to return, one of their best rookies in Seth Jarvis. 16:05 left to go in the third period. John Hunter with you from PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. A breakout opportunity here for the Rangers. Holding back at forehand, scores! Chris Kreider with the dangerous crisscross there makes it 4-0 New York. And wow, what a goal that was. It was a one-on-one opportunity there. Again, as we said, Kochetkov really just checked in about 5 minutes ago. I want to take a secondary look at it. So it was a nice pass there from Fox. It started the breakout, backhand, forehand. And as he got that backhand, he was able to lift it just a little bit. Kochetkov, I don't even think he was anywhere close to that on the glove. It might have bounced off the stick of Ian Cole. But man, that was a gorgeous move for Chris Kreider. So no wonder why he scored 54 goals in the regular season. And any Carolina Hurricanes fans that are there right now, again, you wouldn't really want to leave your seat early because I imagine your playoff tickets, depending on your seat, are going to cost about $300 to $400. But 4-0 at this point with 15:59 left, man, if I'm a betting man, I can probably safely say that this game is over unless there is some kind of radical turnaround that has just not been seen. The second goal for Chris Kreider of this game, his 8th of the playoffs, makes it 4-0 Rangers. So the original 6 squad is providing a beatdown to Carolina. And again, Carolina was a perfect 7-0 at home in the playoffs right now, but they were 0-6 on the road. And nothing has gone right for the Hurricanes right now. They're in the midst of their own eye of the storm here, courtesy of the Rangers. Picked up now, Keandre Miller. He turns it over. Svechnikov, chance for Natchez, and it got blocked by the white shirts once again. Left to right will be the Rangers attacking. In the third period, right to left will be the Carolina Hurricanes. If they can even get in the zone, that's also been a problem. 2-on-2 developing here for the Rangers. This shot stopped. Rebound out in front. Stopped by the glove hand of Kochetkov. Even to try to play this one quickly to give an outlet and a break here for Carolina, but the refs have blown it dead. 15-18 left to go in the third period of action. Chris Kreider has got his second. Vetrano, outlet pass. Chris Kreider alone off to the races. I think he got around Jacob Slavin of all people now that I got to look at it. So it was Vetrano with the outlet to Kreider. He's got 32 playoff goals. It's only behind Rod Gilbert, 34, and the Mark Messier has 29. So Chris Kreider is an excellent, excellent company here for the Rangers as they're sitting on easy street right now, 4-0 lead. Carolina just trying to get something going off the forecheck here. Chance here for Natchez. Holding off the high slot, leaves it there for Slavin. Slavin around the backhand side for Teuvo Teravainen. Natchez couldn't get there first. And now they go all the way back to the Carolina Hurricanes. Ian Cole with an outlet pass. Natchez, nice get ahead there for Teuvo Teravainen. Again, Carolina needs everything right now, and they need it quickly. Down 4-0 with 14:35 left. You think they got to score within the next 4 minutes, and then try to get this within the next 2 to 3 minutes subsequently to try to just hit those check mark boxes, as I like to say, because this is just looking horrendous right now for Carolina. I mean, I haven't really seen them in their own end. Like I said, a lot of times covering a lot of these Carolina games, they're very poised and under control at home, but they've not been able to get any of their plays going. And anything toward the blue line that they like to do has not hit Shesterkin. Even though he's made 35 different saves, I don't think the majority of them have been difficult, other than a couple Snow Angels and a couple redirects. Maybe about 5 or 6 of them have been difficult. Jesperi Kotkaniemi tried to get a pass across the blue line, and it goes all the way back to Slavin now. Slavin has it in the own end for Carolina as we're down to 13:45 left to go in the third period. Carolina taking their sweet time, and they really can't afford to right now as they're down 4. Rangers trying to get this out of their own end. Adam Fox couldn't get to it first. Keandre Miller gets an intercept. Teuvo Teravainen tried to play it out in front of the blue paint. Teravainen finds it now. Slavin, slap shot. And again, it didn't hit Shesterkin. It got blocked by the own man and Brady Shea. And it goes up and out of play. 13:27 left to go in the third period. Chris Kreider got his second of the game. It is 4-0 Rangers. Again, the winner is going to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning on Wednesday.
Showing up, saying, hello, fancy a nice chat. Then we talk like 2 old friends about all the savings you can get by running your own coverage.
Well, Darren, now that you check back in, I can safely say, again, we're going to call this whole game and do the game story as per usual on the website. But this game's pretty much over. Chris Kreider has got his second of the game at the 3:59 mark from Frank Vatrano and Mika Zibanejad. All the heavy lifting done by the first and second line, as you would want for Gerard Gallant's team. You've given Igor Shesterkin a 4-goal lead, who's likely going to win the Vezina for the NHL's best goaltender. The only thing we can really do now, again, Carolina doesn't want to because there's still plenty of time left in the game, but they are down 4 with 13:27. The only thing you can do now is look ahead here for the Rangers in the sense of, all right, you've beaten Carolina most likely in a 7-game series, and you're playing the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are coming fresh off of the sweep in the Battle of Florida. Rest and weary bodies aside, is New York going to have enough energy to come back home and try to figure out a way to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning? He just leaves immediately. Okay. I guess when I tell people the score, they just leave immediately, but that's the way it goes. So, if you're a Rangers fan, we're getting back into the action. You are feeling very, very good right now. As Chris Kreider got his second, it's 4-0 Rangers right now. They're on the doorstep. They're going to be playing the Tampa Bay Lightning on Wednesday if this result holds. Again, the big reason why the Rangers are also out in front, I can put this there, 20 block shots to 8. It's an offensive zone draw loss by the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Rangers at this point can bleed some time and just play smart. Because Zibanejad was able to play right to Andrew Copp, and the one-timer gets blocked off the blocker of Peter Kochekov. Again, the third-string goalie had to check him because Antti Ranta had to be carried off the ice, so they're going to use Kochekov for the rest of the game. Carolina's already down 4. And the situation looks bleak. It looks to be that Carolina is going to go 7-1 in the playoffs at home. That'll be their first loss. And they're going to rue the day. They're going to be 0-6 on the road. So Rod Brendamore's squad, as I've said, Carolina, they've been very, very good throughout the entire year. But the play of trying to get shots out in front, I think Jacob Trouba, I'm going to give you a double check. I'll be going to the box here. But the play of trying to get some of the stuff out in front from the blue line between Tony DeAngelo or Slavin or Pesce or Shea to get those shots, everything was blocked out in front for the most part before it even hit Shesterkin. Maybe you can call 6 or 7 saves that were difficult for Shesterkin, but not much else. So Jacob Trouba is going to get 2 minutes for clearing the puck over the glass. So Carolina, if there is a glimmer of opening the door here, they've got to be able to score on this power play. But for them, let's see, they are 0 for 4 if they don't score a goal here on the power play. So New York gets this down the ice. Kochekov plays this one with the goal stick right now. 7 power play goals in the series to New York. The Carolina Hurricanes 1. Svechnikov, Aho, backhand side goes just to the right side of the post. Carolina has this now. Svechnikov gets us back to D'Angelo. Aho now, right face-off dot. D'Angelo plays crisscross. This goes back to Aho. He's going to take his sweet time. Now Natchez. Aho, right out in front. It never finds Shesterkin as this goes back to the left side blue line. Tony D'Angelo now with Nito Niederreiter and Teuvo Teravainen. Teravainen now has it toward the left face-off dot, and he's still holding. This goes back to Tony D'Angelo. Backhand pass this one to Teravainen. Can't find an opening here. D'Angelo lets it go into the screen once more. They've not changed the strategy. Picked up by Carolina and Teravainen. D'Angelo lets it go again. Trocheck trying to screen and get a tip. He could not. And Carolina's power play is down to 50 seconds. Shesterkin turns it over! And there was nobody in front to bang in front of the open net, and Aho missed it. And now Tony D'Angelo scores. So count a blessing there for Carolina. They should have scored about 5 seconds ago. And now D'Angelo finally gets Carolina on the board. It was an egregious turnover there by Igor Shesterkin, and maybe one of the first ones of the game where he actually made a bad play. But it's still 4-1. So Shesterkin comes out of the goal cage to play this one. He's being bothered by Teravainen, and somehow Sebastian Aho missed a wide open, yawning net. I don't know how he would. All he had to do was just wrap it in. D'Angelo fought it into the screen. He hit it low, 5-hole on the right side. It makes it 4-1. So Carolina finally gets on the board of their 4th power play in the contest. They're now 1 for 4. Shesterkin comes back and plays this one. 11:30 left to go in the 3rd period. Carolina has a little life, but they got a long way to go here. They're still down 4-1. They are on home ice, but they've been thoroughly outplayed by New York. But again, if they get another goal within the next 3 minutes, you figure they can hit that check box and try to start over. Lafreniere try to play it out in front. He got an ice cream sandwich there. And now this goes back to Shea. Eno turns it over, scores! Gets the turnover. Filipino. Immediately the Rangers answer 5-1 New York. So for any good fortune there for the Carolina Hurricanes, consider that flush down the toilet. Filipino makes it 5-1 Rangers. So a turnover there by Carolina, inadvertently one-on-one with Kochekov. Kochekov didn't know what he was going to do, and again, he beats it 5-hole on Kochekov, and it's tough to ask the 3rd-string goalie to come in there and try to make something happen, but Filipino makes it 5-1, and it gives a big secure lead once more for the Rangers as they're back up by 4, his 4th of the series and 3 in the last 2 games. As the Carolina Hurricanes fans can look nothing and just disappointment and awe to watch their team just get bludgeoned on home ice. It hasn't happened too many times. Teuvo Teravainen now gets us into Shesterkin. This is picked back up by Mika Zibanejad. Again, the Rangers have just answered after Carolina just scored on the power play. It's now 5-1. Try to get bounced up in the air. It took a long bounce in there. Now this goes back to Svechnikov, but this is going to be played with a hand pass, and we're going to get a neutral zone draw here. Well, there was one goal on one side, and there was immediately another goal on another side here as Carolina just scored to make it 4-1. Now the Rangers have made it 5-1, courtesy of Filipinos. So laughter and smiles on the bench for the New York Rangers in the original 6 squad. Again, we'll see how much laughters and smiles are going to be on Wednesday when they're going to have to gear up and play the Tampa Bay Lightning on short rest. And for the Carolina Hurricanes, I can say this, I'm very, very surprised at the effort that I saw today. Again, Shesterkin's been very good, but on the side of Carolina, just not been able to find their game. Turnover here. Chance for New York to kill some more time. They've just not been sharp. And that's not the team that I've usually seen, especially at home. But again, all those road woes, as we've well documented, being 0-6, I mean, that just can't happen for a team as good as this. And I wonder, when the hockey guy makes his video on YouTube, if you follow any other stuff on YouTube, follow the hockey guy, because Shannon is excellent on that stuff when he does the breakdown for Carolina of exactly what went wrong in road ice here. They made it to the second round, but I felt like Carolina could have been a much better team. But Wayne Gretzky's playoff pick of winning the entire thing is well in jeopardy right now as we hit the halfway mark of the third period. It's 5-1. Teravainen trying to keep this alive here for Carolina. Brady Shea keeps us across the blue line. Teravainen looking for a tip. Aho was out in front. Aho tried to play this in between the blue paint, so Sturkin saw it all the way. And this goes back toward the blue line side. No, not Shannon Sharp, not the football guy. The hockey guy. Follow him on YouTube. The hockey guy. His first name is Shannon. He's from Canada and all that stuff. He roots for the Vancouver Canucks, the Boston Bruins, the Dallas Stars. If you follow, go on YouTube and follow the hockey guy. Give him a follow. If you want some hockey coverage, he pretty much does that every single time, and he's really, really damn good at it. He's really good at it. You can get a lot of good information there. It kind of puts you into a hockey fan on that side of things. I've always been, but in the sense of what he brings, it's just really good knowledge. It's a really good, friendly approach to it. Kochetkov makes the glove save. 9:20 left to go in the third period. We're going to get a media stoppage. It's all Rangers. 5-1, courtesy of Filipino. When we come back, we're going to call the rest of this game for the most part. Stay tuned. I appreciate you checking with me in on this side of the broadcast, man, because I know on the other side, Patrick and everyone else is on there. I don't think all those guys are doing play-by-play call. I noticed there's a new guy on the other side who's going to be doing some of that. But most of the time when they're in there, it's kind of just BS back and forth. I like to kind of just call the game and all that stuff. Obviously, I don't have my normal partner in here with me, again, because with Calgary Flames not being in there's not going to be Cooper Hopkins. But I'm going to try to get something maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So Tuesday and Wednesday is definitely going to be hockey assignments for the Oilers and Avalanche at 8:15. And then Wednesday will be the opener, most likely now the Rangers and the Lightning. And Thursday is either going to be an NBA Finals assignment or it's going to be a co-op coverage if you can do a Thursday game or an NHL game. But that's it for me. So it was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'm done Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Can't do much this weekend. No, I appreciate that, man, because I know I've been in there a few times. They're nice guys. You know, Patrick has worked this up for a long time. They leave a lot of likes and things like that, but it's back and forth banter. So you and I can talk about some other things in the comments section and all that, but I mean, I like to just call the game and have the discussion. So I appreciate that. Not hating on the other guys either. They're good guys.
Chris Kreider had a goal and an assist in the series prior to tonight. First 3 games in Carolina, nothing.
Again, on the NHL side, I know they were saying there's a little bit of a hiccup there as far as scheduling games. This is everything's not available, so I had to kind of just do it manually. So I'll put the time and everything else for tomorrow and Wednesday. They're both going to be about 8:15 starts. And then Thursday, they're about 9:15 for the NBA Finals. That's what I end up on. Back in the official action right now, Vincent Trocheck wins it clean to Shea. He tries to play this out to Ian Cole. So Rod Brind'Amour is going to put every single line on here that he can put within 9 minutes left to try to jumpstart anything. Carolina gets a chance out in front. I think it went off of the goal pad of Shesterkin, and now the Rangers can try to chip and chase this one down the red line. This is Capo Caco, and now Brady Shea trying to hold off the backhand. He was able to get through it, and now the Rangers steal. A 2-on-2 developing here. This is Mika Zibanejad looking for the wraparound of Kochetkov. The rebound is loose, and Carolina finds this thing with Ian Cole and the help of Brendan Smith as the third-line defense can get this across the red line. But again, Carolina is going to have to pressure at some point because there's just not much left to go on the offense here. They've got to be able to, even if they give up a goal here and try to sell out, they got to find a way. This goes back here for Chris Kreider, he gets knocked off the puck as D'Angelo finds Jacob Slavin. Now this is a chance for Jordan Staal. Slavin leaves it for Staal, and a shot right off the goal mask of Shesterkin is then held. So it is the 34th save for Igor Shesterkin and a 5-1 lead for the Vezina man. So it's all systems go right now for the New York Rangers. They got to feel pretty good about where they're at. 8:10 left to go in the third period. Again, the winner of this contest is going to be taken on the Tampa Bay Lightning Wednesday about 8:15 Eastern. I will be on air in the call for you between Colorcast and YouTube. Shot blocked out in front there nicely by Stone, but that might have hurt a little bit as it bounced around the red line. And Carolina trying to get going again here with Sebastian Aho finding his way, trying to get a cross pass there to Teuvo Teravainen. Teravainen not really had much going in this second round. Slavin keeps it alive off the backhand. D'Angelo into the screen, and it goes just wide of Shesterkin. He's trying to fight players off of his goal crease so he doesn't get screened, so he can see this one. And this goes back to Adam Fox now. Fox can reset this here with his defensive partner. Fox has it now one more time as it goes in across the red line and gets tipped. Kochekov makes the save. Again, that one does count, even though it was from about 100 feet. And this goes to Brady Shea. Shea can't get this across the blue line. New York still hounding there with a 5-1 lead. They've not given up on this defense. Staal, you don't need a writer. Try to center it out in front. It didn't find Shesterkin. 7 minutes left to go in the third period. Pick back up off the backhand. Brady Shea. Slap shot by Pesce. Stopped by the pad of Shesterkin. Rebound there toward the left side of the post. Goes high and wide. Carolina actually trying to buzz a little bit here for the most part, but they've not been able to get much going. Niederreiter back in behind his own end. His time is really running against the Carolina Hurricanes now. 6:40 left to go. Trocheck, series of toe drags, leaves it across. Pesce holds for the right faceoff dot. Intercepted there by Strome. Strome trying to chip and chase this one out of the zone. Alexei Lafreniere now. He has it. He plays this one to Hedel, who just scored. And a stick save there by Kochekov, but it bounces up and out of play with 6:24 left to go in the third period. The door is closing fast on the Canes, my friend. That is definitely true. This is one of those situations, again, Rod Brind'Amour said in the first period that he didn't feel like his team played all that poorly. But as you pointed out in the comments section, again, they took a couple early penalties in that first period, and within the first 6 minutes of action, you're already down 2-0 because you've taken too many men and a high stick in there by Sebastian Aho to begin it. So I was one of your best players already now being on the ice. And Carolina is going to have to look in the mirror. Would things be different if Freddie Anderson was in goal? I think so, possibly. But you really couldn't ask Antti Raanta to play a much better game. Look, I understand he got injured here in this game 7, but your secondary backup goaltenders carried you for 2 series. And that's pretty much all you can ask for. And if you're Carolina, I really don't see how you make too many wholesale line changes as far as what you're going to do in the offseason. This is a really good team, but you need help. And especially of your goaltender at this point in time of the year when you don't have your starter in there, it makes things a little bit difficult. But Carolina had to find a way, and they did not. 0-6 on the road. They're going to be 7-1 at home. They just weren't good enough on the road. They just couldn't find their game. In New York, to their credit, Gerard Gallant, to their credit, when they were able to find a couple of goals, what was always said about New York going into this series and going forward was if they could just find 2 or 3, they can find a way to beat any team because they can lock down defensively just like Carolina can. And maybe in certain instances better. Look, I like Jacob Slavin, Brady Shea, and things like that. But it's not Lindgren and Adam Fox on the other end. So Slavin's got it now. Fox is able to intercept this thing as New York is trying to get this out of their zone. They're sitting pretty right now with a 5-1 lead and 5:15 left to go in this game 7. Winner is going to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning Wednesday about 8:15. That's going to be on ESPN. I believe the Western Conference stuff is going to be on TNT. That is going to be Oilers Avalanche. I'm going to have that call with you about 8:15 tomorrow as well. 8:15 the next couple days for the next couple hockey games as the conference finals will begin game 1s. Pick now for D'Angelo. fakes the shot. D'Angelo's got to the high slot, lets it go there for Pesci. It goes high and wide. It bounced back to D'Angelo now, but it goes back into the neutral zone where D'Angelo is going to have to spin around and hold it. Again, Carolina doesn't have much time to be able to set anything up here. They've got to just be able to get things going. And Rod Brind'Amour, you get the look on his face with the turnover, and that smug look says it all. That side eye that ESPN just quickly panned to. And the Carolina Hurricanes, you see them right now, it's just sense of frustration. And you're just watching this team get punished as some of these kids are crying here on the other side. So I would know how that would feel being a young Red Wings fan a long time ago. Hell, I'd be crying now if one of the teams in Detroit actually made the playoffs. When we come back in, let's finish off the rest of this game. How's it going, D-Elliot? How you doing, buddy? If you're a fan of either one of these teams right now, you're either going to be an utter heartbreak or utter jubilation. I appreciate you listening on the call. I know on the other side, there's going to be people probably teaming up on all this stuff. A lot of them are not going to be doing the play-by-play. So I will be on this side. I know I'm not going to get as many followings and all that stuff, but I appreciate you all being there. I'm going to try to do the best I can. So, yeah, the last Detroit champion, that was 2004, actually. I remember that well through high school. Again, they could have won it in 2005, but you remember Robert Horry left Rasheed Wallace wide open in Game 7, and the Pistons had a double-digit lead going into that fourth quarter, and it was completely blown apart. But that was one of those teams that was said a lot, that it was, one of the only teams that didn't have an NBA top 200 player. I might be exaggerating, probably 150 or something like that. That was a really good team, kind of like the Dallas Mavericks when they won it there with Dirk Nowitzki. Just a really good team to be able to get it done, although Dirk Nowitzki was better than any other player that was ever on the Pistons at that point. So we're getting within the final minutes here. 4:31 left to go in the third period. The Rangers 3-0 against the Lightning this season, but again, that's regular season and compared to playoffs. I'm going to be very interested on that call when I will join you for Wednesday, as the Rangers will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I will be here tomorrow, same time, same channel on Colorcast and YouTube at 8:15 Eastern between Game 1 between the Oilers and the Avalanche. I could have my play-by-play partner join me here. If not, I'll be doing color with Cooper Hopkins, but if not, it could just be me again on the next couple calls. But I'll check in with him on Instagram and see how that goes. So far, I'm doing a good enough job in the interim. We get a neutral zone call here. Play is blown dead. 4:15 left to go for the New York Rangers. So look at this. From a couple of years ago, with the COVID pause and you had the qualifying rounds, I was a little disappointed on my end that the Red Wings fell with the fourth pick. It went to one of those teams that made the playoffs. Who was that team? It was the New York Rangers. They got Alexei Lafreniere with the first pick. Again, Lucas Raymond was fine for the Red Wings. They did quite well. My point is now, watching Alexei Lafreniere now in his second year, he's been very noticeable on that third line with Kakko and Seattle. Lafreniere has been very good. This was a team that was supposed to be rebuilding a few years ago from them going all in, acquiring Frank Petrano, acquiring Andrew Copp, having two good goalies in Alexander Georgiev and Igor Shesterkin that's been an absolute beast and a Vezina man. Kasperi Kotkaniemi to the screen, stopped there by Shesterkin, and the second one goes in. So I'm going to hold that point in there for a moment. It is now 5-2. It is the third goal of the playoffs there for Max Domi, the former Montreal Canadian. And Carolina still has a little bit of life. There's a look at Ty. Again, he's not going to jump into the stands and punch anybody in the face on that side. Again, that's some of those things. If you go back to those old school hockey highlights, that used to happen there in the 80s. So Max Domi finds this one. It might have got, actually, was that touched by Barclay Goodrow's stick, or did Max Domi just get it all? Either way, they beat the top right corner of Igor Shesterkin as he was down. It's 5-2 with 3:35 left to go in the third period. Carolina, probably in the same spot they're going to be in about another minute, where they should be looking to pull the goalie here, but an icing is going to negate that one. So they're going to have to keep that in the cage. That's cool, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, if we want to get something going for Celtics Warriors, if I'm actually doing that assignment there for the NBA Finals, I can definitely jump in on that with me, no problem. I can definitely have that happen. You can join me on the call for Tuesday for that. Tony D'Angelo gets this back now to Andrei Svechnikov. Svechnikov almost lost it, and now he did. So I don't know what he was trying to do there. Maybe he was trying to escape before the stick actually reached out. He never really had puck possession, but again, it's a rolling puck on ice. Can't help but realize how good these guys are. Kochekov is leaving now, the extra man. Shot goes up and on a play, so it's going to be an offensive zone draw, and it's going to stay here with the Carolina Hurricanes. You need to try to win something on offense, and for the New York Rangers, they don't really need this empty net. They can kill some time, but I mean, if that happens there, it's pretty much Angela Lansbury, Murder, She Wrote. This would be all over here. It already seems to be over now, but if Carolina does get one on the empty net, you never know what could happen. Again, Rod Brind'Amour still has a timeout to use and play with if he wants, but it's very critical right now that Vincent Trocheck wins this draw here for the Carolina Hurricanes. He cannot. It is Rangers' possession. It is cleared down the ice, and it's going to be a hybrid icing one there by Tony D'Angelo. So we're going to have to do this one more time. So with 3:01 left to go in the third, and with the result as it seems to be, I can ask anyone in the comments section now. Between the Edmonton Oilers, the Colorado Avalanche, the New York Rangers, or the Tampa Bay Lightning, who do you got? Who do you got in the Final Four to win it all? Chance for an empty net. Shot. Scores. The New York Rangers officially iced this one. I think it was Andrew Kopp, the former Winnipeg Jet, makes it 6-2 with 2:52 left to go in the third period. Carolina's hopes are officially dashed. They're going to be eliminated in Game 7 on home ice and fall to 7-1 in PNC Arena in the playoffs as Jordan Staal looks on. Man, Jordan Staal, he has been really, really good for the Carolina Hurricanes for a long time. You know, you had some parts in there with his brother with the Wild. You had Jordan Staal, some stuff in there with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Can't help but wonder how he's feeling on that side. 2:40 left. The New York Rangers get a bludgeoning of the Carolina Hurricanes. It is 6-2. And it's a tough task for Peter Kochekov to go in there for the third string goalie to have this happen. But New York, to their credit, a lot of the fans said if they just find their offense that they found in Game 6 and they apply it to Game 7, they're going to have a good chance of advancing. And anyone else that said that on the outside looking in has been exactly right. But I've been very impressed, as they've said too, with New York's defense. And again, I understand that comes with Lindgren and Fox. Jacob Trouba is one of those guys that's playing on the second line because you have Lindgren and Fox. He is a first-line defenseman. Of all the ways that it goes about it, you know, acquired from the Winnipeg Jets a few years ago and signed to a nice deal. This is a really good New York squad. But again, I think for me, I'm very happy for Gerard Gallant. I thought he didn't get a fair shake there with the Vegas Golden Knights as the stall attempt is stopped there by Shesterkin. He got fired too quickly. And everyone else with Bill Foley and everyone on the Vegas side, they went all in the land of sin. And they've kind of blown that team all the way up, where they've been the darlings of the NHL, now the villains. Gerard Gallant is now going to the Eastern Conference Finals when it seems like Vegas in the West will never get back to that point. I could be wrong. Maybe injuries aside, maybe a healthy Stone and Eichel can turn things around on that end. But Gerard seems to be in a much better situation with the New York Rangers. Mika Zibanejad had 19 points in the playoffs and third in the NHL right now, only behind McDavid and Draisaitl. Shea, Pesce, holding off with Kasperi Kotkaniemi. He's going to drive his way into the blue paint now behind the red line. This goes back into the final minute of action. Shea couldn't keep it across the blue line. And now Marty Necas has it across the red. Carolina pretty much out of time right now. They're going to chip this one in, and they can feel it. The New York Rangers, they're going to be getting ready on Wednesday to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. 35 seconds left to go. The fans that are still there are waving the white towels. And again, you do have to cheer this team on. They've been so good throughout the entire year. And again, if you follow the hockey guy on YouTube, if you get a chance to look at Shannon's video after he posted a couple days about Carolina Hurricanes and their story, I don't know much of what I would change for this team. Again, the health of Freddie Anderson was not there. He got injured just before the playoffs started when he got hurt against the Avalanche, and that was it. You had Ronta, he got hurt in this game 7. Kochetkov had to come in. Everybody's celebrating it for the Rangers. It's all but over. The New York Rangers advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. They're going to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm going to have that call for you Wednesday about 8:15 Eastern. That's going to be on ESPN. The 5th straight win when facing elimination, tied for the longest streak in franchise history of this original 6 squad. And I'm going to stay here with you until the handshake line and all of that. So just letting you know, the complete game story and play-by-play is going to follow. HopelessSportsGuy.wordpress.com. Again, if you click on my name and you click on the website side of it, it's got all the stories. So all the play-by-play and everything else that you got is going to be highlighted in there with the game story. I usually have my partner Cooper Hopkins. Again, I know the Calgary Flames have been eliminated, but hopefully he can go in there and do a game with me this week. He's got a better voice than I do, so he can get that stuff done. Everybody's meeting at the handshake line. The Rangers found a way. I mean, they were down throughout this series. Again, it was 2-0 and then 2-2, just like it's always been. But in that game 6 and game 7, the Rangers really found their offense. They turned it on. They're the ones that are going to be taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Again, I'm going to have that call. That's going to be on the ESPN side about 8:15 Eastern on Wednesday. But I will be back with you tomorrow, same time, same channel, Tuesday on TNT, on Colorcast and YouTube. This is going to be the Oilers and Avalanche. I'm going to have that game 1 call. Whether it be play-by-play or color, I will be here with you. So good teams on both sides. But again, I don't have the answers. I had the answers more for some of these other teams, but not for Carolina. I don't know what you would change, but I will say this. They needed more out of Aho, Teravainen, and Niederreiter. They just did not get some of those goals from their top-end lines. Or not Niederreiter, my goodness, guys. Aho, Svechnikov, and Teravainen. They needed more from their top line there. Niederreiter, Natchez, Brady Shea, and everyone else has been good, but it just didn't work out for Carolina on the top end. And I think when you go back and look at that, at least, you can say that'd be part of the blame, but then also the health of Freddie Anderson that wasn't there. That kind of changes some things. But the New York Rangers, just a few years ago, they got the top pick in the Lottery Bowl, dropped there from the COVID qualifying rounds, get Alexei Lafreniere. They go all in. They get Andrew Kopp. They get Frank Vatrano from the Florida Panthers. Again, the Florida Panthers got swept in the Battle of Florida. And now you have Barclay Goodrow taking on his former team from last year, fresh off the back-to-back, going for the back-to-back-to-back. And now Frank Vatrano's still alive with his opportunity in the 3rd round to take the Tampa Bay Lightning on. So complete game story and coverage to follow. Have a good one, guys. Peace. We will talk to you soon. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. As always, we will talk to you.
This is not your second game 7 win. Is there a quote or mantra from a teammate, a coach, a friend that you took into these games?
Nothing specific. I think, maybe we're a little naive in there. We're just coming to play. We got a young group, but guys who have been through it too. So, what that makes, we come in.
So let me see if this is who's at home here.
Now you play Tampa Bay Lightning, the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions on Wednesday. They'll have had 9 days rest. You'll go into that with just 2 days rest. How do you think that affects the series?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Obviously them getting a little rest is good for their guys, but we're in hockey mode, we're in playoff mode right now, and we want to keep the momentum we have rolling. So it could be good for us, but obviously a good test as well.
Thanks, Adam. Congratulations.
Thank you.
18 points, 3rd in the playoffs behind David and Draisaitl. 10 of them in the 5 elimination games, most ever in a single postseason by a defenseman. An elimination game to play more.
So it's going to be Lightning Rangers. Okay.
The conference finals are set. They'll start out west on TNT tomorrow night. In Colorado, Edmonton, and the Avalanche, and then no question, New York indeed. They will be hosting game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final on Wednesday night here on ESPN. Also at 8 o'clock. Final score, the Rangers 6, the Hurricanes 2. Well, Ray Ferraro, Emily Kaplan, our terrific crew, led by our producer, Jeff Devine, our director, Doug Hall. Sean McDonough saying, thanks for joining us. And so long from Raleigh, North Carolina. Let's send you down to Sports Center. To John Anderson and Michael Lee.
Thank you, Sean. From Game 7, we are in studio for Sports Center, an excessive amount of Sports Center. It's the Rangers on to the conference finals, two-time defending champ Lightning next. Home ice for New York. Sports Center is on TV. I'm John Anderson. Help is on the way. Also on the way, we're joined by one of the stars of tonight's Game 7 in Carolina, Chris Kreider. Lots of long balls today in the bigs, including a 496 with Blasted. Oh, you have to see it, you got to hear it. And where the advantage are for the Warriors in the NBA Finals when they take on the Celtics. But about the hockey, Barry Melrose is here. Mike Leach, you're keeping good company, my friend.
As always, best dressed man in television, Barry Melrose here. How about this? Sunday marked the 190th Game 7 in Stanley Cup playoff history. Barry Melrose coached one of those, leading the Kings over the Maple Leafs as they made their way to the Stanley Cup final. Carolina had won 6 straight Game 7s coming in. They were undefeated at home. So you know what? They didn't win the game. Let's show you what happened. And the most key moments of this game were early on. Carolina, you would think they'd have a lot of confidence. Barry being at home. The Rangers, obviously, they're young. They were unafraid. They were ready to go. Early on, power play opportunity for the Rangers. They took advantage.
And they have a great goaltender. That's very, very important. Right here, you're going to see Fox carrying the puck in, top of the circle. He's got nowhere to go. 2 men converge on him. He throws a wrister at the goaltender. The goaltender never did see the puck coming, and it's on his way into the back of the net.
Now watch Seth Jarvis here because this play was crucial as well.
Well, there's no penalty on the play. This was not a dirty hit. Drew was just a big defenseman, physical defenseman. He kept his shoulder down, kept the stick close to his body. There was nothing dirty about it, but unfortunately, he's a big guy, and when a big guy hits you, bad things happen.
So he's down. That's not good news for Carolina, obviously. And so you got a power play opportunity here one more time for the Rangers early.
Yeah, and this is a great play. You're going to see Kreider come from behind the net. They work together. Him and Zibanejad. It's a great pass. Kreider raises his the leg off the ice, his foot off the ice, but it doesn't hit the puck. And he pucks him into the back of the net. Great play by Kreider. 2 goals for him. Played really, really well.
That made it 2-0. That just sucked the life out of the building there in Carolina. So the Rangers complete the comeback yet again. They erased the 2-0 deficit in this series after coming back from a 3-1 deficit against the Pens in the first round. They're the 4th team in NHL history to overcome multiple 2-game deficits in a single postseason. Now, New York went 0-3 in games at Carolina this series entering Monday, but Game 7 proved to be completely different. It's the first Game 7 road game they've won since the 2014 second round, also against Pittsburgh. They went on to lose the Stanley Cup final that year. And the Rangers won Game 7 with the number of contributions from its roster. 12 different players recorded at least 1 point. Chris Kreider recorded his 2nd and 3rd goals in a Game 7 this postseason, while Adam Fox posted the 3rd multi-point game of the series, and the Rangers make their first trip to the Eastern Conference Finals in 7 years. All right, so let's start with some key elements that happened here early, and that clearly was the power play. As you well know, the last thing you want to do is give the other team an advantage in power plays, but New York took advantage of it.
Well, yeah, New York has to take advantage of it also. Carolina, for some reason, they weren't thinking. They know they can't take penalties against that club. They got a heck of a power play, and their penalty really hasn't up to snuff. So they just took a bad penalty. All of a sudden, the New York Rangers on power play. There's great puck movement coming in. Puck going side to side, back to Fox. Lots of traffic in front of the net. Unfortunately, they were stopping the goaltender from seeing the puck, and he basically just had a blind shot into the net. But again, penalties against good clubs always come back to haunt you. You can't let it happen, and that's exactly what happened to the Rangers to Carolina in tonight's game. 2 power plays, 2 goals, they're down 2-0, and then they catch up and chase the game for the next 3-4 hours.
In that first power play, both teams with just 2 seconds remaining on the power play. Again, just gut-wrenching there for the fans in Carolina. If you reach the Final 4 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, you've got a couple things going on. You've got a competent team, and you've got a really good goaltender.